Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. It is Rick Kamla in Boston, and holding it down in our LA studios, it is Dr. X, a.k.a. Dr. Phil McDonald, the founder, the creator, the patriarch, owns a team in the TBT, one of the top sports medicine radiologists in the country. To his right is A.M. Pfeffer, anchor, businessman, author. And fellas, because we have the LA-Boston thing, this is taking me back to the 80s, man, right? when the Lakers and the Celtics were always playing in the finals, traveling across country, battling the heck. Yeah. McHale and Rambis getting into it. Let's go, guys.
Let's do it. Let's do it, my brother. Looking good,
All
Rick.
right.
I'm loving that Kings gear.
Yeah, we got a little old school NBA gear going on here.
Oh, that's fire.
That is awesome.
Who was on that team, 1975?
I could look it up. Because this isn't like, I'm not like a fan of the Kings. This was given to me and I thought it was dope. You know what I'm saying? So there's
fire.
like no,
really dope.
there's like no fan connection with this. Maybe Jason could look that up. Who's on the 1975? What the hell team is this? The Omaha Kings? Is that what this
Kansas
says?
City Omaha Kings. Tiny Archibald, Sam Lacey,
Tiny
Ali
Archibald.
Johnson, Jimmy Walker.
Yep. That's nice, man.
Sweet. Tiny was on that squad. I like that. I like that. Might increase the value of this, knowing Tiny Archibald was on that team.
He was dropping 30 a game back then.
Oh, yeah.
One of the greats, man. One of the absolute greats. Guys and girls, last show of 2025 here for your favorite show, Beyond the Surface. First of all, I want to wish LeBron James a happy 41st birthday today. Still balling, still getting numbers. It's incredible. We'll talk about LeBron later in the show. Got some breaking news that has even trumped the Jokic news, which, of course, we're going to spend a lot of time on. Stefon Diggs, wide receiver for the Patriots. This is all according to ESPN. Facing a felony charge of strangulation and a misdemeanor charge of assault from an alleged incident on December 2nd. The key word in all of this is alleged, allegedly alleged, okay? Keep that in mind. WCVB-TV reports a judge is deciding whether to impound court documents ahead of Diggs and Raymond on January 23rd, which is the Friday before the AFC Championship game. The plot thickens. The New England Patriots issued a statement. They're aware of the accusations that have been made regarding Stefon Diggs. This is very important. Stefon has informed the organization that he categorically denies the allegations. They say we support Stefon. We will continue to gather information and will fully cooperate with the appropriate authorities in the NFL if necessary, out of respect for the parties involved. And given this is an ongoing legal matter, we have no further comment at this time. That's kind of the card we're going to play here. I'm bringing this up just because you guys may be busy and, man, what's this Stefon Diggs thing, okay? His attorney said that the allegations are, quote, unsubstantiated. And Diggs, of course, is having a great year. 82 grabs, 970 yards, 4 touchdowns, 13-3 New England Patriots. I'm up here in Boston right now, guys. There is Patriots gear everywhere you look, and rightly so. They're 13-3, and they are back. And we are back to talking basketball. So, guys, when more details come out about the Diggs thing, we can talk about it. But it's he said, she said right now, and we got to keep it moving. All right. Let's fire up the XSN clinic. And like I said, get one of the top sports medicine radiologists in the country talking Jokic. Here are the details, Doc, and our great audience in AM. Jokic limped off at halftime Monday night against Miami, collapsed, grabbed his knee. He was helped to his feet, made his way to the locker room under his own power, but with a pronounced limp. Jokic has been diagnosed with a hyperextended left knee. This came out about a couple hours ago. The team announced that hyperextended left knee. He will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. And as Doc, of course, knows, and most of us know, that doesn't mean he's back in 4 weeks. Now, it's not a season-ending thing or something that's going to require surgery. And Dr. X, here's a couple of more details for you. According to Meridian Sport, a Serbian sports media outlet, of course, Jokic is Serbian, okay, so there's credibility here. Jokic suffered a hyperextension in his left knee with no signs of ligament or structural damage. They have that. ESPN isn't even reporting that. It's also very key to note, Doc, that this is the first significant injury of Jokic's career. He's never even had like a knee sprain like this, okay? So, Doc, we are here on December 30th. All-Star Weekend is February 13th through the 15th, okay? He could be just held out through that whole time. Would that be your expectation, is that we don't see Jokic until after the All-Star break? Talk to me, Doc.
No, I think, honestly speaking, I gasped when I finally saw the replay. I was looking everywhere for it. It literally happened right at the end of the second quarter, and it was due to a player that stepped on his foot and hyperextended it. So he kind of locked his foot from moving back. And so that led to the hyperextension. When I first saw it, I thought there was, at its worst, it could be a PCL sprain, almost like equivalent to a dashboard injury. And then he kind of, pivoted his leg when it was still in locked position. So I thought it could be a pivot shift contusion type of thing, mechanism, which would lead to an ACL ligament tear. But I think it's just going to be a hyperextension sprain. So I believe it's only going to be 4 weeks. So there's a whole ramp up. So I think 4 to 5, maybe 6 weeks. I think he will be available for the All-Star game. He may not play like crazy minutes, but I know it's going to be the World versus the NBA USA All-Stars. So I'm assuming he's going to at least play, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and he might even play a couple games leading into the All-Star break just to get his rhythm back. So I wouldn't be too concerned. I think everybody should, be thankful that it wasn't an ACL rupture, which would be, a season-ending injury. A PCL sprain can be pretty bad, especially if it were to happen during the playoffs. It could hold somebody throughout the playoffs, but you could still come back from that. You could still play with it. You just probably wouldn't be at your best. So I think what he has is probably some bone bruising and maybe some cartilage, shaving or something like to that nature where there is some pain and inflammation associated with it.
But ultimately, Doc, this is a scare and people can breathe easy, right? And this shouldn't have lingering long-term concerns, right? I mean, ultimately, we're getting really good news on Jokic here, right?
Yeah, that's excellent news. And, if you're a fantasy basketball, GM like I am, I was trying to add Valanciunas in the third or fourth quarter, but I had to wait till everybody was playing yesterday, so I had to wait. But I picked them up this morning, much to my friend here, AM Pepper's chagrin. But yeah, it's all good. It'll work out. And that's actually his number one draft pick, which is why he's probably in the top of our league right now. So
AM, you were sleeping, man. You were sleeping. Look at AM. He's so salty, right? By the way, we got to give AM his props. He is destroying the X-Rated Sports Network Fantasy Basketball League right now. How many games are you up? 6 or 7 or something like that? Like, I'm not saying he's going to win the championship, but he's got the best team right now, but he does have Jokic. Talk to us, Sam. How are you processing this?
I'm kind of processing. Well, first of all, obviously, I'm very depressed about this. But, as a fan of the NBA more than anything, but yes, for my own fantasy league, of course, in my team. But I'm kind of curious to see how the rest of my guys do. This is the real math, right? The arithmetic is going to show how well did I fill out the rest of my team. Who did I pick up? Kyle Filipowski to fill in, which is obviously ridiculous in comparison. But yes, Jokic has me in such a great position. But we're going to find out how Desmond Bane and Scotty Barnes and Mikal Bridges and everybody else on my squad fills in with Jokic down.
Yeah, you got to tell Mikal Bridges to pick it up.
Yeah,
he's not holding his weight.
No, not in the last 2 weeks, certainly.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling it, Rick. I'm feeling it.
Well, fantasy condolences for what it's worth. At least it's not season ending, and you have a badass team, dude. But this may bring you back to the pack a little bit. And Doc, Jonas Valanciunas is going to kick butt for you. That's a great pickup right there. He's probably the best backup center in the NBA. I think he's a starting center. Okay, is he an all-star? Yeah. No. Maybe just kind of below Vucevic, right? Like the guy's a double-double every game. You're going to be getting 15 and 10 with sharp shooting, and you're going to love it. All right, I got to hit you guys. I got a lot of questions. The Jokic injury creates a lot of questions for me. Number one, does this ruin Jokic's chances at winning MVP? Realistically speaking, Okay, hearing what Dr. X said, knowing kind of and I'm going to get into a lot of math here, guys, but realistically speaking, we should all be prepared for this injury to take Jokic out of the MVP chase. Like what happened to Embiid like 3 or 4 years ago, first half of the season, leading the league in scoring, and he was at 34 a game. Philly was near the top of the East. He was absolutely on his way to winning an MVP, and then he, blew a tire and missed a million games and didn't win it. I think that's going to happen to Jokic this year. Here's the math, guys. Jokic has played in all 32 games this season. Okay, we love Jokic that way. You have to play 65 games to win MVP, win awards, be all NBA. Okay, here's the math. You can only miss 17 games and still win MVP. If Jokic is out through the All-Star break, which is my expectation, and I'm not a doctor, but that's my expectation, that's 24 DNPs. Okay, so obviously that ship would sail at that point. Here's a scenario where Jokic, as far-fetched as this scenario is, could pull this off. If Jokic misses the next 17 games, which would pretty much literally put him at the 4-week reevaluation marker, okay? But then, like Doc said, you've got ramp up and you've got all this stuff. That's why I don't think he's going to win MVP now. But if Jokic misses just 17 games and comes back on Friday, January 30th, 1 month from today, okay, return on Friday, January 30th for a home game against the Clippers, and then he plays every game the rest of the year without missing one game. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? The math doesn't work here. Dr. X, your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. And as you were saying, it entered my mind earlier on, but I was more concerned about, whether or not he was going to be able to play for the rest of the season. But I immediately thought that this is probably the best chance that Brunson has during the Jokic era to win an MVP. And I think they rightfully have, there's some case for it now because he's been averaging 30 in the past, I think, 15 games or so, something like that. But, also just won the NBA Cup, fresh off the NBA Cup. He's hit one, I think just in the eye test, I think he's probably going to get most clutch player again. Because in the clutch minutes, he's been hitting nothing but threes, floaters, free throws, layups. He's just like doing everything out there. And he's also increased his assist numbers. So I think this is his best chance to win MVP. So I think you're right, but I think the Denver organization is also aware of this and the implications of this. And sometimes they leave players out a little too long than they need to. If this is really just a bone bruise, and there's no ligamentous damage, I believe that they will let Joker play in order to get his numbers. I don't think it's a risk. Like it's not like a calf strain where you don't want to get Achilles rupture. Him having the bone bruise is not necessarily going to lead to an ACL rupture or a PCL rupture. So I think at this point, I think they will, if he wants to play, he'll probably play. It's really up to him, I think, at this point.
Interesting. AM, your thoughts on this MVP math and kind of, Doc did a great job of bringing up Brunson here. How's this kind of hitting you in terms of MVP?
Yeah, to your point, like the math does not work in favor of Jokic in this and where he's at. He's going to be out probably the full month and he's going to miss all 17 of those games. Now, the question remains, though, if he comes back, all of a sudden, this is weird because it actually strengthens his case in a weird way, right? Because here's a guy who barely ever misses games, right? And you're about to see Denver probably going to the toilet without him because his numbers this year they're just, you look at his career and then you see what he's doing this year, it is beyond. It's like 30, 12, and 11, over 60% from the floor, over 40% from three. His PER is like 35. It's just beyond what's going on right now with him, and especially these last 3 weeks. So this just sucks on every level. But if he comes back and works his way into shape over a 2 to 4 week period and then gets Denver back in the mix and they're like a top 6 seed because he came back and proved to everybody, yeah, I'm the real MVP, this would actually strengthen his case. But I like what Doc says. Jalen has slipped in. Look what the Knicks have done in these last 6 games since the Cup. Look how they've won all of their games. They've basically been down in every game, and it's Brunson bringing them back and dragging them across the finish line every time. Like, he and Jalen Brown have, like, skyrocketed up the board. There's no doubt about it. And with a little slippage out of OKC, all of a sudden, there's some light for some other guys, right? Because earlier this season, it wasn't even close. It was Jokic, SGA, everybody else. All of a sudden, the field is wide open.
Yep.
So I'm doing some quick math here on the fly. Wemby has played 20 games. Let me see how many games the Spurs have played, guys. You got the wheels turning over here. So he's played 20 games. They have played, oh my gosh, they've played 32 games. Okay, Wemby has missed 12 games. Wemby can miss only 5 more games and win MVP. Clearly, he's a candidate, especially after beating OKC 3 in a row. SGA's right there knocking on the door again. Doc, what is absolutely colossal for Jalen Brunson, y'all got to beat Detroit. You know what I'm saying? In the regular season matchups, you got to, and I'm not saying you can or you won't. I'm just saying because Cade's right there. His numbers are phenomenal. They're one game up on the Knicks. I mean, obviously you know all this stuff, but doesn't the Jokic injury kind of add even a few more logs on the fire of the Knicks-Pistons games going forward?
Absolutely, because it's all about signature wins at this point. The Knicks also play San Antonio next on New Year's Eve, so that's going to be a game that we'll see. Wemby's starting. Wemby's going to get at least 25 to 30 minutes, so they're going to be like, "Oh, this is what would have really happened if Wemby played, this amount of minutes." And if the Knicks had come through victorious on San Antonio's home floor with the healthy Victor Wembanyama playing healthy minutes, I think that would also. These are the games that voters will think of when they're voting for Brunson or SGA. And SGA has lost a lot of signature wins. I mean, potential signature wins were L's for him, and two of them were from San Antonio, and technically 3 because it was a game leading up to the Christmas Day game, and they lost that plus the Cup game. So those are 3, and then Wemby wasn't even playing starter minutes and wasn't even starting. So that kind of goes against, the SGA thing. And I think the more losses, we'll see by the end of the season, but I think we will be able to see that Brunson has been carrying his team over the finish line in clutch moments and has probably one of the most clutch baskets.
I think the voters are, if Brunson checks all the boxes, right? Stats are amazing. They win the East. You won the regular season series with Detroit. You just checked all the boxes, right? And let's say SGA checked all the boxes, and Jokic missed too many games, and Wemby missed too many games. Brunson's going to win MVP because he's a New York player. Okay, we know that always leads to just gravity and attention, and it just does. Whether people want to like it or not, it is what it is. New York fantasy players are overvalued in fantasy sports. If you're a Met, a Yankee, a Giant, a Jet, a Knick, not a Net. Shots fired. But Doc, that's just an excellent point, man. This Jokic thing definitely the door has opened big time for Jalen Brunson. He was already top 5, but now I think I see the path. I see the primrose path that you have laid out. One final quick point. We're going to keep it moving here. I want to talk fight. I want to merge the fight game in basketball here.
Okay.
The Denver Nuggets played on Monday night, guys, without Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, and Cameron Johnson. 3 starters. And now they're without Jokic, I think, through the All-Star break. This is not going to go well for the Nugs, dude. It's not. They're going to take on L's right now. They're going to fall out of the top 4. It all sucks. But if Brown and Gordon and Johnson were there, okay, maybe you can. But you're going to be down 4 starters right now. No team in the NBA can make that work. All right, guys, it's clock time. It is rapid fire round time. Let's try to get as many of these bits in as we can. By the way, very special guest joining the show. Adam Smirnoff. He is the guitarist in the legendary funk band Lettuce. He's going to be joining us at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I actually don't know where he is. He's on tour with Lettuce right now. They may have a show tonight or not. I'm up in Boston seeing the Disco Biscuits right now. Saw a couple of Lettuce hoodies at the show last night. I'm like, yo, we're having Adam on tomorrow. This is cool. So Lettuce is one of the best bands on earth, in my opinion. And if you're into funk, you got to look them up. But Adam's going to join us here, legendary Adam Smirnoff, in about 35 minutes. All right, rapid fire round, guys, 60 seconds or less. Who you got? Jose Alvarado, or Mark Williams. They fought over the weekend. They actually threw punches. This was a pretty solid fight by NBA standards. And guys, this was like a Boston Terrier against a Great Dane. You have the 7'1" Mark Williams. You have the 6-foot Jose Alvarado exchanging punches after a foul by Alvarado. Phoenix beat him back-to-back, which pissed off Jose Alvarado. And by the way, it's stray 30 around here. This is proof that Jose Alvarado is a legit tough guy. He took on a 7-footer, okay? As opposed to the fake tough guy, Draymond Green, who is somewhere complaining about having to play on Christmas right now. I'm not sorry, Draymond. So Alvarado was suspended for 2 games. Mark Williams was suspended for 1 game. And I believe that is Adam Silver standing between 2 players and raising Jose Alvarado's hand and saying, "You are the victor." Okay? Now, I'm right. Dr. X, I'm going to you first. I'm going to give you a very quick answer here. I'm rocking with the toughest little dude in hoops, Jose Alvarado. I am taking Jose Alvarado against Mark Williams. That's who I'm putting my money on. I'm not putting my money on Jake Paul. I'm putting my money on Jose Alvarado, Dr. X.
Okay, all right. So let's do it this way. If this was a fight in the cafeteria and he caught him off guard, I'm definitely going Alvarado. But if Mark Williams was threatened and say that, "Hey, I'll meet you by the tree at 3 p.m. Be there," and Mark Williams had a chance to get coached up by his boys, I'm gonna take Mark Williams only because the metrics are in Mark Williams' favor. The weight, the reach. He's going to be swinging at the knees, and that's even dangerous. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard for him. But it just looked like Mark Williams doesn't know how to fight. Like, he was caught off guard. He wasn't really trying to fight, but it was obvious that he was in a tussle. And I don't even think his punches were not only were they not accurate, but I think they were he was smacking. And it just looked like he just looked totally awkward. But Alvarado, he swung with his core. So if it was a cafeteria out the blue, I'm going Alvarado. But Mark Williams at the end of the day.
I love it. If they're in a cafeteria, I'm taking Jose Alvarado. Dude, you've had some killer one-liners already, man. All right, AM, who you got? Jose Alvarado or Mark Williams? Ding, ding.
Yeah, Alvarado all day. Mark Williams literally looked like he was on roller skates in that fight from second one. Alvarado, throwback to my favorite actor of the late 80s and 90s, Joe Pesci, right? You wouldn't mess with 5'2.5" Joe Pesci. Anytime you thought, My Cousin Vinny, Casino, whatever it was, you put him on screen and you believed he was the real tough guy. I'm watching Alvarado on the screen. I believe he was absolutely the tough guy of the league. Like, all of a sudden, he just got vaulted into the top 3 or 4 guys I do not want to mess with in the NBA. I don't even know. He was pointing at somebody and looking somewhere else. I think it was the ref, and then turned around and just shoved Williams and was like, "Let's do this, pal." Zero fear, right? It was just like, I'm getting here. Couldn't care if you're 7'1", 8'1", it literally fighting Paul Bunyan. Didn't matter. Alvarado is getting in there. He is the pitbull of the league.
Wait a minute. I just had a thought. I know that he fought Thomas Bryant. Do you remember this? I think this was last year. It might have been 2 years ago. But Thomas Bryant's 6'11", 7 foot, whatever it is. And Jose is swinging at these 7-footers. I mean, I love it. I love it. But I just thought, wait a minute. Jose and Thomas Bryant got into it.
And Cam, speaking of Thomas Bryant, Indiana alum, another great guy out of Indiana, my man he's absolutely a brawler himself, right? I watched him in college. He just could not wait to scrap. He's in there every time. Brought that to the NBA. Alvarado didn't care. Wasn't scared of that at all.
That's that.
Yeah, Thomas.
That New York in him.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this guy. He rocked up, just wants to run through you, man. You guys, I've been a Jose Alvarado fan for a long time. Going back to Georgia Tech, the underdog story. 99% sure he was undrafted, but we had him on NBA radio multiple times because Antonio Daniels is the analyst for the Pelicans, right? And Jose played. So it was we had Jose on, man. It was at least twice a year, right? Nicest dude ever. Just gives all the glory to God and just understands his place and super, super humble and grateful for all the money and opportunities and stuff like that. Great dude. I rock with my boy Jose. All right, let's keep it moving here, guys. It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Ooh, Here's a good one. Am, you're going first on this one. Is Trae Young overrated or underrated? I'm going to give you a quick setup here. And again, we're rapid fire around 60 seconds or less. Tim McMahon of ESPN, who's got a great Twitter handle, @BannedMcMahon, because he asks tough questions and teams ban him. I think that's dope. All right, Tim, keep doing your thing. He writes, the Hawks certainly are indicating they're looking for the exit ramp with Trae Young. That's kind of the big part of this paragraph, okay? The other parts we already knew. He says they did not make an attempt to get him signed to an extension, which we've talked about ad nauseum. When that's the case with your franchise, that's a pretty clear message that the end could be near. We've talked about all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to talk about should he be traded, where will he be traded. There's a lot of Trae Young slander going on around here, okay? So I want to know, is he overrated or underrated according to our panel? AM Pfeffer, go.
Yeah, Rick, I know where you stand on this, but you've heard me many times on this show state that Trae Young was overrated. Well, now the proof is there, right? Look at this team. They're 0-7 since he's been back, 0-6 or 0-7 since he's been back. The guy's overrated. He gave us 2.5 years when he came into the league, and they were an exciting, amazing 2.5 years. And even as a Knicks fan, yeah, that's about the only time I don't want to see him on the court. For whatever reason, he just elevates his game when he's got to play my hometown heroes. Other than that, he's overrated. I don't see the appeal of Trae Young. I don't see how he fits into a team. I don't see how he elevates his team. And I don't see how he does anything defensively. He's not an ad to me. You know, I mean, yes, he has all of these attributes. He's exciting. You know, he's got an attitude about him that I do like for an NBA player, but it just doesn't add up to team play. It doesn't add up to making the Atlanta Hawks any better. He is overrated, and I think they should have moved. I think they're making the right call not extending him, and I think that they should move off of him by the end of the year.
Very succinctly put, Dr. X, where are you at with Trae Young? Overrated or underrated?
He's just rated. I just feel like, I don't want to diminish his talent. I think he's definitely, his assist numbers throughout his whole career speak for themselves. His clutch baskets, his range, but he does a lot of boneheaded moves, kind of things in the same vicinity, I would say, as like a Jordan Poole. And you just never know if the leader is going to step to the plate and if the leader is going to do the right moves, or if he doesn't just have, his teammates may not feel secure, in his hands, with the ball in his hands at the end. You just never know what you're going to get. But with that said, with the right team and the right, I would say players or the superstars around him, imagine him on a team like Houston, they would be a better team for having him. Or a team that's really desperate in need of a point guard. I just feel like for the Atlanta Hawks, it's time to move on. But I don't think he's overrated. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's properly rated the way he is.
Okay. We're going to have 3 different answers on this. Guys, put me on the clock. Trae Young, to me, is the most underrated player in basketball. I understand the statistics. You mentioned it, AM. I saw the tweet. 0-6 since he's returned, allowing 125 points a game. We get it. Like Austin Powers has jacked up teeth. Okay, we get it. Trae Young is not a good defensive player. He never will be, but this is a team sport. It's always Trae's fault, guys. Just like Oklahoma, remember it was Trae's fault when he was the only guy, had a bunch of bums around him, but that's the burden of being a superstar, an all-time great, a future Hall of Famer. You get credit, you get lots of blame. Is it fair? It is what it is. Not even worth debating. The Hawks will always be tantalizing and teasy, but ultimately super choky and misguided. This is a Hawks problem. It's not a Trae Young problem, okay? They don't want him around anymore, and it's grown stale, funky, and it's more than Trae's turnstile defense. It's a vibe. Like, the whole team is, like, just going through the motions right now. I have a prediction. Trae Young is going to get traded. He's going to elevate his new team. They're going to build the system around him. They're going to accentuate his strengths. He will enjoy the change of scenery. Everybody's going to have that new car smell, and it's going to be a great story. I have another prediction for you. The Hawks are going to regret this trade and not maxing him out. And I have one more prediction for you. Trae Young is going to go for 40 and 20 every time he goes back to State Farm Arena. So we have 3 different answers there on Trae Young. I like it. Did I make it on time right there? How was the timer?
I don't think
but it was worth it.
Oh, thank you. I'm kind of like, I'm in my notes and stuff, so I'm not looking at the time. Guys, if you want to ring the bell at zeros, that'd be cool. All right, guys, we were having fun, man, having fun. 25 minutes out, Adam Smirnoff, legendary guitarist from Lettuce, is going to be joining us here. Rapid fire round continues, or does it? I want to take the timer off of this one. Let's take the timer off of this one. No timer on this one, because we've all been waiting kind of a week to talk about this one, right? OKC has fallen into an 0-3 hole against the San Antonio Spurs. The question is, are you still picking OKC to win it all? And one more little setup note, and Dr. X, I'm going to you here. And again, no clock on this one. Take as much time as you want. Are you still picking OKC to win it all? SGA, after falling to 0-3 against San An, said, we have to get better as a group. You don't lose 3 times in a row to the same team in a short span without them being better than you. Whoa. I mean, I love the honesty, okay? Most players would not say that, right? That's as transparent as a quote I think I've seen in a long time. Anyway, Dr. X, are you still picking OKC to win it all?
No, but I just feel like I would probably say I'm picking them to win. I'm going to say picking them to win the West, but they're the favorites. They're still the favorites to win the West. I don't know necessarily to win it all, but I think the biggest issue here is that San Antonio is the kryptonite to OKC. It's a matchup issue. And I think both teams have problems shooting the three, but they both have dogs. But the difference with San Antonio is that they're up and coming superstars versus the others of San Antonio. I bet you if you were to pull a casual fan anywhere off the street, they wouldn't be able to name anybody outside of the 3 players of OKC, and some of them would probably struggle to name the 3 top players in OKC as well. But with the Spurs, there's up-and-coming players like, we have, what's the guy's name? Harper coming up there, Castle. Vassell is, even though he's in a slump right now, he's a great player. You have De'Aaron Fox, Wembanyama. I just think they match up. The matchup isn't favorable for OKC. Now, when it comes to the Spurs, I don't think they're the top of the West either, because it's a matchup thing as well. As you saw, they lost to the Knicks. They also lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers yesterday. And so they can be beat as well, especially if you have a team that shoots the ball well and also has the height and has the dogs and the scrappy players. So ultimately speaking, OKC hasn't moved from where I think they are in everybody's mind. In terms of how I feel about them, I think they're the favorite to win the West. But if they run into San Antonio, I think they'll be trying to, if they have an option of avoiding them, they will avoid them.
Very, very interesting. I love it. A.M. Pfeffer, are you still picking OKC to win it all?
101%. I am not coming off the Oklahoma City Thunder to win this whole thing. I get it. I understand that, these last 3 games, San Antonio has looked amazing playing against them. Doc, you hit it right on the head. They could be their kryptonite. The matchup isn't there. It's not even New Year's. Playoffs don't start for 4 months, and you got to get through April, May, and into June to win this whole thing. That Oklahoma City understands and knows, because they did it last year. Defense still wins championships, and by the time they round out into playoff time, trust me, they'll clamp down another 20, 30, maybe even 40%, which to me is frightening if you're the rest of the league and you got to face them night in and night out and bang with them in the playoffs. Come on. This is still the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think it's amazing and cool what the San Antonio Spurs have done to them the last couple of weeks. The NBA is humming right now, especially since the day of Christmas, no doubt about it. But San Antonio not only lost to Cleveland at home the other night, they lost to Utah at home the other night as well. All these teams can be had. Again, talk to me in March and April when this is still an issue for Oklahoma City, where suddenly they're 500 since then, which I do not expect to happen. They're going to be 800 come now and the end of the road. They're going to win those 16 games, and they're going to raise that second banner again this year. Absolutely still picking Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm not trying to have a hot take. They're just the best team in the league still, by far. And now with Jokic going down in a month plus, this is theirs to be had, for sure.
I concur.
Interesting, guys. Before I even go into this take, I want to let you know that I am not a prisoner of the moment, like ESPN. I am not a victim of recency bias, like ESPN. But I do have to react to what I see and what my gut is telling me. I'm not still picking OKC to win it all. Doc mentioned it, and I love it. The Spurs are OKC's kryptonite. And like, we don't know this. If OKC can avoid San Antonio and maybe Denver beats San Antonio or Houston beats San Antonio, then OKC is going to win it all. Okay. But if OKC has to play San Antonio in a playoff series, they're not going to beat them, in my opinion. And I'm going to substantiate that with a lot of facts here in a second. So I'm off OKC winning it all. I'm on San Antonio right now. Guys, I've watched 3 games of domination by the Spurs. I don't care about the Cavs game, the Jazz game. I don't care about all that stuff. San Antonio's still got a kick-ass record. I mean, they're bad losses, but in the big picture, they don't really matter. What matters is when the Knicks play the Pistons, when the Spurs play the Thunder, when the Nugs play, either of those teams, right? I've watched 3 games of domination by the Spurs, domination of the purported best team in basketball. And they have the best stats in basketball, number 1 defense, best record. So, yeah, you can say they're the best team. That's fine. When the Spurs have Wemby against the Thunder, it's domination, okay? And by the way, OKC had Jalen Williams for all 3 of those games. I have a stat for you. The San Antonio Spurs beat the OKC Thunder in 3 straight games by a total of 37 points. That's despite Victor Wembanyama playing 20 minutes, 23 minutes, and 25 minutes off the bench. That's scarier than a tax audit, guys. Okay? The fact that they dominated OKC and Wemby played 68 minutes. It's crazy. And that's not prisoner of the moment or recency bias. That's what we saw. Okay? And is it an overreaction? No, I think it's an appropriate reaction. Get this. Victor Wembanyama was a plus 47 in those 68 minutes. Those numbers don't compute. They don't. Okay? That means when Wemby is on the floor, the Spurs don't beat the Thunder. They destroy them. Okay? And only one team, as Jalen Williams said, after falling to 0-3 against San An, said there's a guy on their team who's 7'5" and takes up a lot of space. Jalen Williams said that. Amen. What J-Dub is saying is that Victor Wembanyama is 2 players for the price of 1. When you were playing San Antonio, you're shorthanded hockey style, and they have the power play. They got 6, you got 5. Okay? That's what J-Dub is saying. And just to make it super unfair, Victor Wembanyama is the biggest dog in the NBA. The biggest dog in the NBA. You know who's a very close second? Doc, tell him.
SGA.
Jalen.
You already know who's in my head. Right? And you probably think he's the biggest
Brunson.
dog in the NBA. Jalen Brunson. Okay? And I believe that Jalen Brunson, the biggest dog in the East, is going to meet up with Victor Wembanyama, the biggest dog in the West, in the NBA Finals. Guys, I know it seems early how young the Spurs are, how young Victor is. Nobody wants this ring more than these 2 guys, more than Victor Wembanyama and Jalen Brunson. They want the ring more than the Thunder. The Thunder just got it. They want the ring more than Denver. Denver got it in 21 or whatever year that was. LeBron's already got 4. Steph's already got 4. Durant's already got 2. I mean, come on. Wemby wants this, and Brunson wants this more than any other players. Every time I listen to Victor Wembanyama talk with Malika Andrews or whoever, I love him even more, okay? Because he's such a freaking badass. He's so serious. Do you guys, let's have a laugh real quick. Do you guys remember that All-Star video where Wemby is in there and Jokic was busting his stones about reading a book? Do you guys remember that? Yep. And so Wembanyama's like, he's like shrugging, and Jokic is like, you read a book before read. I can't do a Jokic. I can't imitate him, but you get it. And Wemby's like, Wemby like looked at him and shrugged and was like, yeah, I read before every game. And Jokic, he literally just did this. He just did this. He just put his head down. Let me raise up a little bit. He just did this. He just went like this. Jokic, and he just shook his head a little bit. It's so gangster by Jokic, dude. But again, and Wemby wasn't laughing. He was like, screw you, buddy. I'm gonna read my book right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this guy, man.
I appreciate that I feel like Wemby is coming into his own. And, he still has some awkward movements, in the finishing, like that dunk everybody was posting. I mean, it was impressive, but it looked like he was playing on an exit sign or like, someone's he doesn't land.
Oh, you mean the one where he like caved in after the dunk, right? When he fell?
Yes. He looks like a baby giraffe just born, just falling out the womb. But I love the edge he's playing with. The edge he's playing with is great. The players that they surround him with, the De'Aaron Fox factor. I'm really glad that he got acclimated and he's playing to his clutch abilities again. So the Spurs are dangerous, and they are OKC's kryptonite. But another team I saw recently, Rick, is the Houston Rockets. Saw them on Christmas Day. That game was incredible. And I love the starting lineup. I'm not sure if you guys have peeped it, but they have Amen Thompson and Tari Eason starting in the backcourt. Tari Eason is a dog. Like, he gets those steals. He mucks it up. He can hit the open three, and he never stops going. And then with the coach at the helm, that's how they play. Like that old Celtics team prior to him being dismissed, they played with that same edge. And so I think Houston is only going to get better. And those are, one of the other teams I'm really excited about. And it's just kind of a buzzkill with what happened yesterday with Jokic, because Denver was up there too, doing all this without Aaron Gordon.
It's a great point, Doc. It is a great point. Let's keep it going here on Wemby, and let's bring the clock back. A.M. Pfeffer, you're first on this. Okay. We just saw Wemby, and I gave you the stats, absolutely annihilate OKC. And are they more vulnerable and mortal against other teams? Yeah. But who do you want for a ring run this year? Wemby or SGA? Not Jokic, but Wemby or SGA. Who do you want for a ring run this year? In other words, who do you want on your team to go win a championship? Put AM on the clock, and AM, you're up.
Yeah, Rick, I agree with you that Wemby is the biggest dog in the NBA, but it's not like SGA has slipped down and became the 38th dog in the NBA, or the idea that they won the chip last year, so now they don't want to win the ring again. I mean, I sort of like what you're saying about that, but it's easy to just say it. I absolutely believe that SGA wants to win again. I mean, look what they were doing. They wanted to win and break all the records and take down, what the Warriors had done and win 73 plus. He wanted on that. He wanted to win the NBA Cup. They were still in the semifinals. There's nothing about SGA in my mind that isn't close to as much of a dog as Wemby. Wemby's the biggest, but it's not like SGA has fallen down. I still want SGA over Wemby. You know what? Until Wemby proves that he could do it 20, 25 games come playoff time and the health is there, I'm believing in SGA's health more than I am. And I'm believing that he's going to galvanize his team defensively as necessary for the run for Oklahoma City.
I think you make outstanding points. And, and what I'm saying, I'm not saying OKC isn't a tremendous team and doesn't have championship DNA and doesn't want to repeat. Clearly they do. But I just think there's a different level of motivation for a team that doesn't have it versus a team that just won it, and that human nature aspect. And what percentage is that? I don't know. It's probably very small. And obviously OKC is chopping wood and really trying to do this. And so you make great points right there. Dr. X, put him on the clock. Who do you want for a ring run the rest of this year, Wemby or SGA?
I'm going to agree with AM. I'm taking SGA all day. The main reason with SGA is because I would take him and his team against anybody in the NBA except the Spurs. And I just feel like, there's at least a proven record that they won it all. They went to 7-game series with the Denver Nuggets as well as with the Indiana Pacers, and they came out victorious. So they also have the experience. So I would definitely go with SGA. I just like his chances. I mean, I know Wemby is beating his chest now and he's saying all the right things and all that, but we've seen players like him say all the right things, play with that fervor, and still lose. I think Giannis is a good example of that. After he won that one ring, he comes with the smoke every year, but they just never get past the finish line. So I just feel like this might be that. They might have the OKC's number, but I feel like the other teams that they run into would probably get the best of them.
Again, excellent points. And I don't want to discredit the dog in SGA. at least a top 10, probably top 5 dog in this game. He just goes about it a little differently, right? He's very stoic, very kind of quiet, not super animated. But you know how you know he's a dog? He's the best conditioned player in the league, okay? That means, like, you don't have to, like, and I love, like, the animated dog of Russell Westbrook, right? He's super animated, right? Ah! You know, screaming and almost screaming and stuff. SGA is not that guy. But SGA, and I'm not saying Rob is doing this, but SGA is putting in all this work behind the scenes, dog style, to be so fit that he can play both ends the way he plays. All right, here's my answer, guys. Put me on the clock. Ring run this year, Wemby or SGA? I'm on a Wemby thing. Wemby has so many ways to beat you guys on both ends. On the floor, in the air, scores from all 3 levels, nightmare on the glass. SGA is incredible. But he is not 2 players for the price of 1. He does not instantly create a power play for his team like Wemby does. Wemby is the greatest weapon in our sport. He's not the greatest player. Jokic is the best player in our sport. Wemby is the greatest weapon in our sport. Kind of like Randy Moss was when he was playing football. He's the greatest weapon in the sport. Quarterbacks probably were the, Brady or Manning or whoever were probably the best player. Moss was the greatest weapon. But to get the mantle of the best player in the sport, you got to win a championship, okay? Jokic did that. Nobody called Jokic the best player in the game until he won a championship, and we've been calling him the best player in the game ever since. So I would rather go with Wemby for a ring run. All right, fellas, let's talk a little LeBron James here. We're about 9 minutes out. That is if he's on time, and it's okay if he's not. But Adam Smirnoff, Guitarist for Lettuce, will be joining us around 3 p.m. Eastern time. They're on tour for their new album, Cook, which is amazing. And so that's going to be fun. Happy 41st birthday to LeBron James. Now, rapid fire round once again, and I'll tell you guys when to put Dr. X on the clock here. So, JJ, what the question is LeBron James' legacy hurting the Lakers? JJ Redick had a very interesting quote recently. He talked about the Lakers being unorganized since LeBron's return, and he did not dance around it and talk about something where we all know who he's talking about, but you didn't mention the name. He mentioned the name. Okay, JJ Redick, and I quote, "Since we've gotten Bron back, we haven't been as organized offensively. Too many random possessions. That's on me. It's those 3 things: defensive clarity, role clarity, and offensive organization." But, bro, you didn't mention Reeves or Luka or Rui, or you mentioned Bron. And we all know what's up. Lakers kicking ass without Bron. Bron's come back. It's been a little clunky, okay? I'm not mad at JJ Redick. There's probably 25 other coaches that would run and hide from mentioning LeBron James' name in that paragraph. But JJ, he's a you-know-what, okay? And I like that about him, okay? He's a leader of men. Anyway, Doc, question for you. Is LeBron James' legacy hurting the LA Lakers?
LeBron's contract is hurting the LA Lakers. I think, honestly speaking, the fact that he has a no trade clause says it all. They're not able to be creative with the value that LeBron James holds. I do think it'd be great if he wasn't on the Lakers right now, just for them to move on. I don't think it necessarily make them a championship contender, but you never know who they could get. But hey, LeBron is a smart businessman, and I think that was good that he put a no trade clause, and so he can be, control his destiny where he ultimately ends up at the end of his career. So I'm not mad at that, but I think it's that contract. The Lakers should have never given him that type of contract. But who are you to say no to LeBron James, who also won you a ring back in 2020 for the Lakers organization?
I love it, Doc. His legacy's not in their way or hurting them. His contract is, and you're right, because you have, Luka's max, Bron is max, Rui's making 17, 18, Reeves is on a decent number. He soon, I believe, will be maxed out. Ayton's on a decent number, so they got a lot of money tied up into those guys. Excellent point. AM Pfeffer, you are next, man. Is LeBron James' legacy hurting the LA Lakers?
No, LeBron James' legacy is not hurting the LA Lakers. And I love what JJ Redick said, and I love the way he said it. This, to me, is why he is one of the top 3 coach and potential coach of the year so far this year if he can get his team back on track. Look, let's just call it like it is with the Lakers. They've got a defensive problem. We knew that from the beginning of the year, and nothing has changed till now, and it's not going to change until you get to the playoffs. And if they want to clamp down, that's on them. But they've got to buy into what JJ Redick wants them to do. This is all about the fact that Austin Reeves elevated his game in the first third of the season to something nobody expected and hadn't seen before. We knew what Luka was going to do. LeBron took his time coming back. Reeves was amazing. This comes down to Rui and Ayton. Both of these guys are 2 out of 5 times every 5 games. 2 out of 5 times you're going to get good games out of these guys. It's not always at the same time, and that's about it. But they're not putting in their due as starters on this team when it's necessary, and nobody across the board from the starters all the way down to the bench can play defensively.
That's where I'm going with this, AM. I mean, so we all agree here. Is LeBron James' legacy hurting the Lakers? No. His legacy is not hurting the Lakers. His contract is hurting the Lakers. And I want to go farther with AM's point about defense. The Lakers are this is what's hurting the Lakers. They're 25th in defensive rating. They have a grand total of 0 defensive players in their starting 5. None, not one, okay? Their best 3 players all suck on defense. LeBron, Reeves, and Luka. They all suck on defense, okay? The Rui spot needs to be a Dyson Daniels or an Aaron Nesmith or a Tony Allen, and I know Tony's retired now, but you get the point. You need some defense in that starting 5, dude. DeAndre Ayton is absolutely apathetic on the defensive end. Marcus Smart is past his prime. Gabe Vincent has been an LA disaster, okay? Jackson Hayes is a low IQ player. Jared Vanderbilt, bro, lost at sea. Have you guys seen him? Have you guys seen Jared Vanderbilt make a play in the last 2 years? And then JJ Redick absolutely hates Dalton Knecht. Not that Knecht can help with defense, right? But that's your rotation right there. Who the hell's winning big with that? No one. Okay, you have to have defense to balance it out. They're a team. They're an offensive team. They play no defense. That's what's hurting the Lakers. It is not Bron's legacy. All right, fellas. We are moments away from bringing in Adam Smirnoff here, but let's fit in our power rankings if we can, or get as far as we can. Dr. X, you're going to be first with this, man. No clock with this, because I want you guys to kind of, if you want to kind of go down a little rabbit hole with the team, don't worry about the clock. And timing wise, we're doing well here. So it's the XSN Power Rankings top 5, okay, for our, of course, beloved NBA. Dr. X, you're first.
Man, at number 1, I would say the Denver Nuggets prior to the injury. I mean, are we going to play with the injury factor there or not? Because that would kind of remove Denver from my top 5.
I took Denver out of my top 5, Doc. So, I booted them out, dude.
You can start over. Start over, Doc.
I'll start over. Current events.
You needed to know the rules of engagement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to go OKC still as number 1. Every team has a weakness, and at least we know the weakness, and they can address that before, trade deadline and things of that nature, or just playing together, or just, making their team better. So I have OKC as number 1. As number 2, I'm going to go with the Rockets. I love how the Rockets are currently constructed, and they can still add a point guard. You never know who they can get. They have a lot of bodies that they could do a trade for and get a serviceable point guard. But even right now, I just like their size. I like their depth. I like their athleticism. I like the defense. I like the coach. So I have the Rockets as 2. At number 3, I have the Spurs. And then, really because of how they played recently, but Wembanyama, and I think they're only going to get better, and they could also in position to do a major trade. The last couple of games, I think Devin Vassell has been like under 10 points, shooting bad percentage. Harrison Barnes is up and down in terms of his stat productions. So based off of that, I would put them 3rd. I have my Knicks as 4th, as currently constructed, but I think they are able to jump to the number 1 spot without a Giannis move. And at this point, I don't think they should do a Giannis move. If they do, great, surprise me. We'll figure it out. I'm sure I'll take a nap and I'll be happy that they got Giannis. But right now, I believe that they could really just add some depth to the bench. A player like a Sadiq Bey. I would take at least two of those two players from New Orleans Hornets. The Pelicans, and just bolster the roster. Or even a player like Jeremy Grant would be great. Just they need like a 6'7", 6'8" wing that is known for scoring the ball at a starter's rate or starter's capacity. And then in my fifth team, I don't like the hater in me because I'm a Knicks fan. I don't have any respect for the Pistons right now because I just think the strength of their schedule is lacking. They don't have any signature wins. They've lost to some very bad teams more than once. They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks twice, I believe. Cade tends to be injured a lot, and he already missed 3 games, so you don't know what's going to happen there. I just don't like the depth of the bench. I think they had a better team last year in terms of depth and shooting and things of that nature. So I think I'm going to have to go with Cleveland. I think Cleveland is getting beat up in the media because of injuries, but they weren't healthy to start the year. I was at that game. There were 5 guys in street clothes walking, and I was like, all these guys right here can put up great numbers and are dangerous if on the floor together. So I got Cleveland as my 5th team. I don't believe in Orlando. I don't believe in anybody else in the East like Atlanta. I don't believe in the Detroit Pistons.
Okay, so Dr. X has gone with OKC, Houston, San Antonio, New York, and Cleveland. His top 5 power rankings. Me and AM will and Brandon Armstrong, who's going to join us now. We'll do that in just a little bit. We have a very special guest right now. His name is Adam Smirnoff. He is the guitarist from the legendary funk band Lettuce. There's my boy Adam rocking the Knicks hat. We got Brandon Armstrong falling into the fold as well. B.Dot is there. Adam, what's up, my brother? How are you?
Man, I'm great, man. Thanks for having me on. I always appreciate it. It's good to be here with some fellow Knicks fans, some mellow Knicks fans. So let's go.
Yes. You got 2 right here. You got 2 right here.
I like the shirt, Funk Abides. So Dr. X in the red shirt, Adam, huge Knicks fan. Brandon Armstrong, NBA impersonator. You've seen him do Russell Westbrook and all those kind of guys. Very noteworthy for that. A.M. Pfeffer, also in our LA studio. He's an anchor, a businessman, and author. Dr. X is the founder, creator, and patriarch of the show. Giant Knicks fan. And he'll come on with a question in just a second. Adam, let's get into this. Where are you? I know you guys are on tour promoting your awesome new album, Cook, which I listen to it all the time. You know me and you guys, man. I'm at the beach playing drums, rocking Lettuce. Let's go, baby. Where are you guys at on your tour?
Right now we're off for the next 2 weeks, and then we start up and we do a month-long tour that we start in Mexico, then we go East Coast, and we go all the way down the East Coast until we get to Miami and get on the Jam Cruise, and we're there with like 30 other bands, and we're doing our thing.
So
nice.
I will see you guys. I believe it's February 5th in St. Pete. And I'm super
on the cruise. Yeah.
On your way to Miami, we're going to be balling in St. Pete. All right. So wanted to kind of find out where you're at. Question for the great Adam Smirnoff, man.
What's the question? Cut out for a second there for me.
You cut out, Rick.
Yeah, so sorry, a little. I'm in a hotel in Boston, seeing the Disco Biscuits for 3 straight days, Adam. That's what's. Hey, I saw a couple of Lettuce hoodies at the show last night, man. That was a pretty good look. But Doc, yeah, come in with a question. Sorry, I'm in a hotel. A little
different
internet interruption there.
So, Adam, great to have you on the show. Just want to know. I think we're going to ask you a lot of Knick questions, but currently constructed. Do you like how the Knicks look right now and their chances to win it all? Or do you think they need to do something to bolster their bench?
Yeah. I mean, as of right now, you got to admit that, like, the way Mike Brown has been developing and playing our bench is a completely different situation than last year. Now, all of a sudden, you got Miles McBride back, right? He had a great 4th quarter last night. Shaman's coming back. We know how he shoots. Now, all of a sudden, you're starting Diawara and developing him. He ends up having, 17, 18 points last night, something like that, right? And Then you have Kolek,
Mm-hmm.
and you're playing McCullough Jr. So all
Yep.
of a sudden, like, our bench is looking good. I think the big question for all of us Knicks fans is Yabusele.
Yeah.
My gut says that he will end up being traded. Maybe you package that with the Wizards pick, a second round
Mm-hmm.
pick.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously it felt in some way like Sadiq Bey was auditioning for us last
Yeah,
night. I think
absolutely. You're
that,
like
that
25 shots.
it just felt that
Yeah.
way. So I don't know. I mean, I think that's really the hope. In some ways, that you're able to go get a player like him and keep the Villanova thing going. I don't know.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. I think there's some other players too that they could
Yeah,
possibly bring in. But I would say, yeah, you got to keep the core together and some of the players that showed some bright spots in their development. And it's actually been fun to watch. As a Knicks fan, we always have our fan favorites, but it was nice to see Diawara, rise to the occasion for being started and things of that nature. But yeah, Kolek was great. McCullough Jr. playing like Josh Hart Jr., as some people call him now. So it's been fun to watch.
yeah, and just watching the development of some of these younger players and given the opportunity, aside from maybe when Tibbs was starting Grimes, I can't really think of
Mm-hmm.
another player that he really chose to develop in some ways, And you know what? I left out of the bench Clarkson too. So I think we're pretty
Yep.
deep when deeper than what we thought at the beginning of the year.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, in Tibbs' defense, he was kind of, I want to say he discovered Deuce McBride, but Deuce McBride was back and forth at G League, and he finally got his opportunity. And after he proved himself, he left them out there. But I think it was really because of Deuce McBride's ability to defend that got Thibodeau to really take him out of the doghouse and kind of give him an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, when you're looking at where this team can go, right? There's
Mhm.
really no less than making the Eastern Conference Finals or making the NBA Finals. Anything less than that would be looked upon as a failure, in my opinion.
Absolutely agree.
Completely
Adam, I
agree.
want to jump in here, Rick, if I may, because Doc just took care of today's Knicks. But Adam, I got a question. I mean, let's because Rick's in Boston right now, right? Lettuce is the inception is Beantown, right? I mean, maybe you could talk a little bit. I'm a history guy. Like, tell me a little bit about your whole journey being up there, getting Lettuce going, but being this like incredible Knicks fans, and then what was it like? I mean, were you going toe to toe with people in the audience? I mean, wait, tell us a little bit about the journey as a Knicks fan, and having to be in Boston all these years.
Lettuce, we started, I was 16 years old. I was at a 5-week program for kids, and I met the drummer first, who's from New York too, and we end up both becoming really, really diehard Knicks people. So the Boston thing for me, it was always like a place of my development, and I never looked at it as a permanent place for me. I knew that it was a certain amount of time I would be there. I was going to go to Wally's Cafe. I was going to play. I was going to talk to the owners there. They're going to tell me that Bernard King was the best shooter he's ever seen. And they're from Boston. I always thought it was going to be that it was Bernard King. And I never really got a chance to really watch him. I came in as a Knicks fan in maybe 1990. That was the year
Wow.
that I was indoctrinated into being, a diehard Knicks fan.
Good year.
Brandon, come on here with a question
Yeah.
for the legendary Adam Smirnoff from the funk band Lettuce.
How you doing, Adam? Man, thanks for we appreciate you being here, man. As a lifelong Knicks fan and an artist who understands, pressure, timing, and chemistry, this season feels like a slow build that's starting to hit its groove. Gritty wins, like over the Hawks, young guys earning minutes, but also injuries, testing the death. From your perspective, do you think the Knicks should trust the rhythm they're building and let this core grow? Or does the New York Knicks demand a big headline making move, even if it risks throwing off the team chemistry?
I don't think they'll do it anyway. I don't even think the collective bargaining agreement rules would really even truly allow us to even make the trade until this summer. So I don't even think we have a choice. I think we're continuing the slow build, and I think you try and bolster maybe the power forward backup position, and that's about it.
I love it.
Adam,
I
let
love
me
what
ask
Mike
you.
Brown. I love what Mike Brown is doing with him. I
Yeah.
love the direction he's taking him.
I'll admit, I'm like, yo, whack Thibodeau. And Adam, you and I talked about it and when it happened, and I was actually in a bar in St. Pete seeing a band with a buddy, and Adam called, and I went outside, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm seeing the vision a little bit more here. That was an important conversation for me and Adam. Adam, I want you to talk about the relationship that Lettuce has with the MSG network, how that came about, like how much they run your tunes and all that kind of stuff. Like what's kind of going on with that?
Okay, well, I think there have been a couple different things that have happened through the years that have, in a way, solidified that relationship. Some of it was a little bit by chance at first, where I was playing with Robert Randolph at the time.
Love
Right, I
Robert
used to play
Randolph.
guitar with 2006, right? And we go and we record the Friday Night Knicks video, which I didn't actually play on the recording, but I'm in the original video of it, which is kind of funny. And through that, I end up playing, I think it was the 2007 NHL All-Star game. Jim Dolan is there, and he's a guitar player, and Robert invites him up on stage. We end up playing guitar together, and Robert's the type of dude who doesn't like give anyone like, we're going to be playing this song. He kind of just throws you into the fire, right? And that's just kind of his vibe from being a cat. And so I could tell a little bit like Jim was a little bit like, wait, what are we playing? And I just saw it, and I went over. I started telling him the chords of the song because they were going kind of fast. And if you didn't know it, it's hard to get. But I was like, went through like G, C, F, G, and I went through the chords, and then until he finally looked at me and he was like, I got it, thanks, Shmeeans. And so we started. I've known Jim Dolan for a long time now. Since then, I remember having a discussion with him that was prior to Pau Gasol becoming a Laker, and there was free agency, and he asked me what do I think of Pau Gasol, and I remember telling him, dude, he's one of the only 2010 guys during this time of the NBA. I think he plays defense. I think he'd be an incredible addition to any team at that time. Obviously, he ends up going to the Lakers, winning the championship, and I think Jim looked at me after that like, oh, you actually might know a little something about basketball, right? I might have a little tiny, inty, bitty bit of respect, right? Um, we go on later. I become really good friends with Howie Singer, who has been the producer of the Knicks broadcast for years. At that time, we end up coming in and recording some Lettuce video stuff with him. He ends up using a lot of our catalog. And this lasted for like 9 years or something like that, where
Wow.
Lettuce would be the background a lot of the Knicks highlights every time they would play, during a replay or a commercial break or anything like that. And then also while I was on the road with Robert, originally he had a young band come, who is now obviously a very experienced band in the scene, and they were incredible musicians. And I met the bass player first, and we started talking about the Knicks, and we became really good friends. And that's Jim's son, Charlie, who is one of the best people I've ever met in my entire life. And I'll tell you what, if it ends up being one day that he's going to be in charge of the franchise, we are lucky fans because he is brilliant. He is kind. He is talented, and he's a hard worker. He's a great dad. He's just, I stand behind him. And Charlie is one of the, my best friends now. I went to New York, where I'm originally from, for the holidays. I brought my two kids, to the Garden for the first time with him, and it was quite an experience.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Adam, I have a quick question. Seeing that you know all the Knick fans, I mean, I would say the players that people wouldn't really know, but a true Knick fan knows. If I told you Rick Kamla was the father of Ron Baker, would you believe me?
That is well played. Well played, Doc. Can you guys flash the little shot that we have of Ron Baker for those that don't remember Ron Baker and Ron Baker's hair, which, I got a lot of great. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is.
Paternity test pending, man.
B.Dot, what do you think about all that hair, man?
Hey, man. Coming from Doc, I'm pretty sure he wish he was still able to have that good grade of hair you have right now. So I don't think it's much of hate. I think it's more a little jealousy, Rick. I love that beautiful, great golden doodle you got up there, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey,
we're staying silent in the corners right now.
I love it, Adam. Thank you, buddy. That's right.
Hey, Adam, it's a reason why I have my hat on now. It's the reason why I have my hat on.
So tell him the backstory, awesome. Rick. Tell him the backstory about why you did that.
Yeah, I usually slick back my hair, but I forgot my product and packing all my stuff for the trip. I'm up here in Boston. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, we can kind of go, Ron Baker. We can kind of swag it. We can kind of swag it up a little bit. I don't. Oh my gosh! All right, hey, do you got another question for Adam? I got several. You got another question for Adam?
No, please, Rick. Absolutely, go. You take it away. But I'm loving this, Rick. I mean, Adam, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to meet you, and I'm loving these answers. Love talking Knicks basketball.
All right, and so this will get the panel fired up too. And we texted about this yesterday. Give us your top 5 Knicks of all time. And again, folks, there's Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. The great Adam Smirnoff from the legendary funk band Lettuce is hanging out with us. Top 5 Knicks all time. And I want to know, Adam, are you going no particular order, or are you doing a ranking here?
All right. Do you want top 5 Knicks of all time or top 5 Knicks that I've watched?
Maybe both.
I mean, then you start with the banners, right? Come on, those are the 2-time champion Knicks. You got to go number 10, Walt Clyde Frazier. Number 12, Dick Barnett, right? Number 15, Willis Reed. Earl the Pearl. Excuse me, that's Earl. Number 19, Willis Reed. Number 22, I think was Bradley 24, Dave DeBuscher, right? There you go. And 613, the Red Holzman banner hanging up there. Obviously, I've looked at them many times. I left out 15 Dick McGuire right there because I don't really know his playing, and he wasn't one of the championship team guys. You got Patrick Ewing, 33 up there, obviously, as well. Those are our banners. So, boom, there it is. And I gave you more than
Yeah.
5. But now I will go with my personal
Yes.
favorite players. I will at number 1. I'll just start at the top list. Patrick Ewing. There's not even anything to be talked about there. I started watching
Yep.
in 1990. The first basketball game I ever watched was in 1989. But I started following stats. My father was telling me I have to read the newspaper every day, and I'd cheat. I'd get the New York Post, box score basketball. At number 2, I have to go right now currently with Jalen Brunson.
That's
he is frogged to me, carrying this franchise, getting more playoff victories than any of the other guys on my list. That's why he is leapfrog. And he is beloved by the franchise, by the fans right now in a way that I have almost never seen before.
Yep.
At number 3, Latrell Sprewell was my dude.
I love it. I love it.
I was a hardcore Spree fan. When he came, like, I just loved how we kind of transitioned from the Ewing era to having like ball dominant athletic guard, right? Who was lanky, who could run the floor, tomahawk Duncan. 4 and 5 become the hardest ones to say, right? Because there's so many players that you loved, whether it was Oakley, whether it was John Starks, whether it was Anthony Mason, right? We loved for different reasons. Melo during his time here. So I don't know. I can't really fill those 4 and 5 spots the way that I did with Ewing, Brunson, Sprewell, who were my guys that I loved in that way, who also, had so much success in the playoffs and, obviously with Spree and Ewing making the NBA Finals during my lifetime. That's my answer.
So you have a top 3. That's cool. Just say top 3. Top 3. I love it.
Top 3.
Has anybody hated the rim more than Latrell Sprewell? Legit question. Because Adam, I was like pumping my fist over here. I was a huge Latrell Sprewell fan. I mean, and you remember Spree went to my Wolves and was a huge player, man. They had Cassell, KG the year we went to the West Finals. Latrell was a badass for us Wolves. I'm like, he's wearing my uniform. I may need to get a Sprewell Wolves jersey, dude, and rock that.
I have a crazy story for that. Adam Deitch and I, for lettuce, we actually went to Spree's first game back to the Garden as a Wolf, where he destroyed us.
Yes, he
and
did. Adam Deitch, by the way, might be the best drummer on earth. He's the drummer in Lettuce. He's a freaking maestro, man. All you guys are. These guys are incredible. Check out their work, guys. Go to iTunes, look up on tour in a couple of weeks, and they've got a new album out called Cook. Check all of that out. All right, I want to merge, Adam, the basketball business in the music business. Okay, how would you compare and contrast the music industry to the basketball industry?
You know what? I find this very interesting, and we talked about my time in Boston, and I was there playing with some musicians, and I found out later that Sam Presti, the GM for OKC, we were there at the same time. He is also a drummer, and obviously it came out last year that he had a rap album too. He was actually a fan of Adam in my band as well at that time. And since then, Presty and I have become pretty good friends. And go back to Mike Brown, he's obviously known Mike since the Spurs, and he had nothing but positive things to say when the transition happened. And it was one of the things that I think I talked to you about, Rick, that like he was like, yo, Mike's a bad dude. Um, Presti had a similar thought of how basketball and a band and music kind of have similarities. Um, and you're talking about you're on the road all the time, you're playing night after night after night, that sometimes on any given night, one guy can carry the team more than another. Um, Someone else can step up in a leadership role. There's improvisation. There is playing off of each other. Um, you know, we have 6 people on stage. A basketball team is obviously 5 playing at the same time. But I do think there are definitely a lot of parallels with just in general being creative, finding a way on any given night to find a new way of doing things, essentially, which is to me what great players do and what great teams do. And you don't just go out there on a night and stick to what you do. You know, there has to be room for creativity. So I think that to me is the big parallel.
Thibodeau was that guy. We're doing it this way, and you know, every time you guys would come up the court, you guys remember that, right? It's inaudible. Nobody had any idea what he was saying, but I mean, that's all he would do. You remember this, Doc, with your courtside seat, just listening to Thibodeau just yell. What was he saying? Could you decipher it?
No, but it's all the same. You know, he's just mad about something and he punishes you at the same time.
Standing there with his arms crossed real high too, right? Not roulette, real high with that arm cross, man. Oh, Tom Thibodeau, man. Hey, I got one last question for you, and then if any of the other guys have a question, Adam, they can certainly hit you. Is there any player in today's game that you would rather have taking the last shot than Jalen Brunson?
Let's see. I mean, obviously you have guys out there like Anthony Edwards, who is amazing. You still have Steph Curry playing the game. But I just think that right now, on a consistent basis, Jalen Brunson is just so clutch. He never ceases to amaze you. When you don't think he can do it, he does it. And I feel like he is really bringing this mentality this year, especially, of find a way. Like, if there's a theme for this New York Knicks team so far, with the amount of games that we've played against the teams that we've played, it's find a way. And it's just that to me is the answer. Yeah, there's other great players in the NBA who are clutch, who take shots. But when you're talking about Jalen Brunson, right, I feel like you're looking at someone in his prime with great guys around him. He is surprising, which is really fun to watch, because we've all seen really incredible players in our lifetime of watching basketball. And I think one of the consistencies is that creativity is that I don't think, how can anyone do this kind of vibe, whether it was Kobe, whether it was Jordan, right? Where you're just amazed on a nightly basis that anyone can be doing the things that they're doing. And to me, or watching Steph Curry, right, during his prime, especially. Um, so yeah, obviously there are a lot of great players to take that last shot. Yeah, I'll live and die with Jalen Brunson taking mine.
Me too.
Me
Me
too.
too. B.Dot?
I got one more. Adam, as a guitarist whose sound is all about feel, rhythm, and improvisation, who's the one musician of all time that inspired you the most and shaped how you play? And then on the flip side, if you had to pick one NBA player in the history of the league, who would be the best guitarist based purely on their demeanor, creativity, and like the way they play the
I like
game? Who are you picking
Wow.
and why? And what guitar would they play?
Wow, that's a really interesting question.
It could be a Knicks. It could be a Knicks player. It could be anybody.
Yeah. Since I was a young child, Stevie Wonder has shaped the way I've thought about music, first felt music, continued to be a performer, the likes of which I have never experienced, a songwriter, his feel, his touch, multiple instruments. He's my ultimate hero. As far as a player in the league, man, that's a real tough one. Who would be a guitar player? Man, that's I'm trying to think of like who's the funkiest player. Not the maybe I'll tell you what, no one to this day to me truly had the swagger that Jason Williams did, the way he played the game
Yeah.
with his flash and bringing street ball really to the league. And I loved his creativity and improvisation. I bet he would be a funky guitar player.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. That was perfect.
White
Great
chocolate
question,
on the
B.Dot.
strings. I love to see that.
I bet he'd be great.
I bet he'd be great, man. I was thinking Dylan Brooks, maybe. You're saying who's the funkiest player in the? I just kind of Dylan Brooks came in, and I'm a fan. It's not like some negative thing. I'm a big fan of Dylan Brooks, but could you see Dylan Brooks with a guitar strap over his shoulder?
I just because of the way he looks, I'd imagine him more of as a bass player.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Adam, what's the next gig for you guys, man? We're gonna let you go here. What's the next gig for Lettuce? I know I'm seeing you guys in St. Pete on Feb 5. When's the next Lettuce show?
The next Lettuce show is we're going to the Baja Peninsula of Mexico. We're playing a little festival down there. We're celebrating our boy Scott out here in Denver, his birthday. He helps run AEG, and Cervantes out here. Oh, hey, there I am.
Yeah, there he is. Nice.
There's the GOAT, Adam Deitch, baby. Oh, man.
You know what? Really quick, I just wanted to say that you mentioned Deitch as one of the great drummers, but I feel like that's selling him short a little bit. He's a great multi-instrumentalist and a great writer and a great producer and a great person too. So there you go.
Love it, man. Love it.
Love that.
Can't wait to see the Adams and the rest of you guys in a little over a month, Adam. Early February in St. Pete. Safe travels. Have fun. I know you will. God bless you and your family, Adam. Obviously, we'll be texting and doing our little thing. But love you, man. Thank you so much for joining us here and really appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. And anytime you want to talk Knicks, I'm here.
Let's
You
go,
got it.
man.
We
Let's go,
appreciate you,
Knicks.
man. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have you back when the Knicks are in the finals because it's happening.
That's right. There you go.
Maybe before then.
All right, later, y'all.
All right.
Thanks,
Peace
man.
out.
That was great. That was great. That was great, Rick.
Yeah.
Thanks
Well
again.
done. Well done, fellas. The questions were amazing. B.Dot, I know you got my boy because he had to sit back and
Oh, yeah.
he had to give that.
Good.
Dude, that was that he's gonna remember that question, B.Dot. I'm telling, because they do interview. He just got interviewed by Guitar Magazine. You know, these are big time guys. He's gonna remember that question. That was a good one, man.
Nah, man.
Yep,
A lot of my questions from now on, they're inspired by Adam, man, because he always asks the off the wall questions, the question that doesn't have to do with the sports. So I'm like, man, let me take a page out of my boy Chef book and let me see what I can come up with. So, man, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you.
That was fun.
Nice.
That was fun. Docket AM out in LA, man. A little Knicks love. You guys feeling good? You got puffy chests right now? What's happening?
Oh, yeah. Poop, poop.
All right. We were on power rankings, but guys, I want to bring B.Dot in on the Jose Alvarado, Mark Williams fight debate. Okay. And it was Doc said Mark. So it was who are you picking in a fight between these guys, B.Dot? Okay. So me and AM said Jose. Doc said Mark Williams. Okay, but Doc did say in a cafeteria, he's taking Jose. Okay, but he said if Williams says meet me by the tree at 3 and he's got time to get coached up, then he's taking Mark Williams. So he had a bit of a conditional answer here, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So who you got in the fight, Jose Alvarado or Mark Williams?
Man, look, I'm going to Jose, man. David versus Goliath. Jose, he has that Latino, that Hispanicism. You know, they don't give up. They don't give up at all. And you know, Jose like to sneak up on you. Okay, so Mark might be looking one way. Jose might go around that tree. Boom, now he on Mark back. What Mark gonna do? Mark can't really do nothing. You feel me? Them 8 points, 10 rebounds a game ain't gonna be able to get Jose off of him. So I'm going with Speedy Gonzalez. Young Jose Alvarado, man. I love Mark too. I love Mark, but it's hard.
That's the best.
Get tired. You know, that tallness is going to be a negative for him. So Jose all the way. Jose.
Love it.
Did you check out B.Dot trolling Mark Williams with his 8 points, 7 rebounds? Dude, you are killing me with that. Man. That was outstanding. Oh, that was some really good comedy right there, dude. Okay, all right. I had to get your take on Jose, man. All right, we got. I said that was like a Boston Terrier and a Great Dane. Oh, B.Dot. Yes, I got to ask you this. Because we brought this up, it was like a thought bubble thing, but I can't. Do you remember when Jose Alvarado threw blows with Thomas Bryant? You remember that, right?
Yes.
Yes. You do. Did Jose got like 1 or 2 punches in on Thomas Bryant? And would you say, did Jose win that fight like he won the fight with Mark Williams? Like you're in your memory. Do you remember Jose winning that fight with Mark Bryant? Or with Thomas Bryant? Pardon me?
Definitely 2-0. Call Jake Paul, set it up. Yeah. Like, come on now, Jose's a scrapper. If Jake Paul was gonna fight Gervonta Davis, him and Jose about the similar height, man, go ahead and replace it, man. Jose and Jake Paul, the next Netflix debut fight. I'm tuning in.
I love it.
So please put that picture back up. Please put that picture back up of because this is an outstanding shot. Shout out to Jason Arambulo, our producer, and Kai Josephson, our video director. Please put up the picture of Jose punching Mark Williams again, because I think I figured out the secret of Jose. First of all, it's the dog and all that. Jose has a fistful of jersey with his left hand, bringing Mark Williams closer to him so he can send a right hook right across his jaw. I love this guy.
I called it the blind punch. And I want to say here on Beyond Surface, we do not promote violence. We are a very loving family show, but we have to talk about these things. And hey, that blind punch by Jose, hey, it's gonna work. It's gonna work 5 out of 10 times. As a person that can't fight, trust me, I know that blind punch, man. You're gonna get something. You're gonna get something.
I'm so glad I asked. I knew you'd have some comic relief on that joint right there. Oh my god. B.Dot, I'm gonna go I'm kind of like Rondo around. Hot hand, right back to you, bro. Let's do power rankings here, okay? Doc gave us ours right before we had Adam on. Dr. X hit us with number 1 down to 5, just 1 through 5. OKC, then Houston with a bullet, then San Antonio, then the New York Knicks, then the Cleveland Cavaliers, and people all over Detroit Rock City are pissed off at Dr. X right now. How could you flip Cleveland over Detroit? But what is your top 5 power rankings, B.Dot?
I'm going with OKC at 1. San Antonio at number 2. I love what they're doing with Wemby on the bench and still being able to win, and he's getting back acclimated. Number 3, I love the Houston Rockets. The New York Knicks is going to be a 4. And that last spot, I'm going to give it to the Detroit Pistons just because the Denver Nuggets just lost Jokic, and I don't know how they're going to survive in that West without Jokic and how long this injury is going to be pending. The East, I understand, the inconsistency of the Detroit Pistons, and, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's about them winning the East. And I think they have a better chance of winning more games in the East than the Denver Nuggets do winning in the West without Jokic.
All right, so let's compare a little bit. OKC number 1 for B.Dot and for Doc. The Knicks come in 4th place for both of them, and a lot of Houston love. B.Dot had him at 3, and Doc had him at number 2. A.M. Pfeffer, your top 5 power rankings, my friend.
I love it. I appreciate it. I'm glad I'm going now. The Thunder at 1. I mean, we talked about them earlier. I'm not coming off them, right? Okay, because obviously besides losses, the 3 losses to San Antonio and the loss to Minnesota, they're taking care of business around the horn. They're still the creme de la creme in my book. My New York Knickerbockers. Doc X's New York Knickerbockers. Come on, guys. This team finds ways to win. Mike Brown, the king of adjustments. This team easily can put up 125, 130, 135 a night. Can you ever say that about a Knicks team in history? Offensively, they're bringing it. They have the power from 1 through 10. They have the bench. That's something different for them. And they are getting it done. They've been down in like 4 or 5 of these games where you're like, turn the TV off in the 4th quarter. They don't have it tonight. Nope. You check the box score at the end of it, and they have the W. They easily fit into my 2nd spot. The Houston Rockets are number 3. Look, Ime Udoka is my favorite coach in the league. I've given J.J. Redick a lot of love in the past couple of shows, and I've talked about how great of a job he's doing this year. But I've mentioned Ime Udoka before, and I'm going to mention him again. He is the best coach in the NBA, at least in my opinion. I just love what he does. I love how he gets his guys to buy in. I love the fact that he got Reed Shepherd where he is right now. He didn't rush him, and everybody wanted him to play him as a rookie and this and that. The man knows what he's doing. Give him a little time. He gets it. He didn't want to trade this guy. He understands what it is to bring him across the board on the bench the way he's doing. He's got Amen Thompson playing very well. Kevin Durant at 300 years old is playing as well as he is. Ime Udoka is doing a tremendous job. The Houston Rockets are the 3rd team. 4th, we're bringing in San Antonio right now. Look, I get it. They've been streaky victors back, but I'm sorry. You can't lose back-to-back at home to the Cavaliers and the Utah Jazz and expect to just be vaulting up this. Fine, you beat OKC 3 times. I want to see you do it again in February come March. This could have been just an aberration, and you're a team that is absolutely on the rise, and everybody's on your bandwagon, and everybody thinks you're going to be in the Western Finals or the Finals. I'm not there yet. They still got a long way to go. When playoffs start, it's an entirely different era, and I want to see Wembanyama healthy through the rest of this year. Number 5 is where it gets really interesting. Doc picked the Cleveland Cavaliers. I wanted to give Detroit and easily slot them in, but you know what? I'm not putting them there either, okay? This is a team that, as we talked about, when the Western part of the Western Conference part of the schedule started. Let's see where they are. And not only that, they've had a cream puff schedule, and they started with the cream puff schedule against the West. They got like eased in. They're not playing any of the power players, but they've lost to Dallas. They've lost to the Clippers. Who else? They lost to the Jazz, right? Like this. There's just some teams that they shouldn't be losing to. They're just not the top 5 team. They're top 6 or 7 right now, but until they start beating teams that matter, they're not there. Which is why I'm slotting in the Timberwolves. That is my 5th team right now, because Ant Edwards is playing out of his mind. Rudy Gobert is doing what he needs to do in the middle. Julius Randle has some off nights, but when he's on, they're incredible. DiVincenzo is playing pretty well in a starting position. And they've got some big wins, including against the Knicks. Yeah, there's a couple of losses there that are questionable, especially that one against the Nets the other night, but I think that was just an off night. They got a big win against the Knicks. They got a big win against OKC. And Edwards is like thrusting himself into the MVP conversation himself. He's on the outside looking in, but who knows in 2 to 4 weeks. Let's see where they're at. Right now, to me, they're ascending team. Like if you put them in the East, they're probably the best team in the East besides the Knicks. That's how I'm looking at them. The fact that they could be the 4 or 5 team in the West just speaks to how good the Western Conference still is right now. So I'm putting Minnesota as number 5.
Minnesota, my plucky Wolves get a vote. All right. OKC 3 for 3 at the top here. Houston top 3 for Doc, B.Dot, and AM. Detroit's they're taking L's here. Okay, AM, they're not real happy with you in Detroit Rock City either. Okay, Little Caesars Arena, they're walking around, and they got signs for you and Dr. X. Okay, and they're not savory. I'm not even sure that they can show them on TV right now. All right, let me get back down. It's because it's a family show. All right, where the heck is my power rankings? Okay, number 1. The San Antonio Spurs. I don't care if you're losing to Utah and Cleveland. You dominated Oklahoma City. Dominated Oklahoma City. So I got San Antonio on top. Then I've got Oklahoma City. And then I've got Detroit. Oh! I've got Detroit at 3 because I can't put them above Houston. Detroit has a better record than Houston. Okay? Detroit has a better record than New York. I don't feel right about it. Who do I think is winning the East? The New York Knicks. Okay? But do you rank it that way in a power ranking? Or do you kind of have to partially go by the standings? I mean, so anyway, I got Detroit at 3. And I can go to Detroit Rock City. They're going to love me there. They're going to be at the airport waiting for me, okay, cheering me when I get off the plane.
You're wearing their colors right now. Go do it. Go stop.
I am. Although, hey, B.Dot, I got to show you this gear. Wait a second. What just happened? Are we good? Am I on?
Good.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I still see you. Yeah.
Sorry. All right, pardon me. B.Dot, check this out, dude. 1975, the Omaha, Kansas City Kings. Look at this thing, dude.
That's tough.
Sweet.
Is that velour? Is that velvet?
It's velour. What is that, velvet? No, it's like terry cloth.
Okay. Oh, man, look good, man.
It's
good.
Like, no, I appreciate it. I thought you might dig that. And also wanted to show this is actually not Pistons gear. It's like I said, the Omaha whatever Kings, who are now the Sacramento Kings, and no, they've never won any damn thing. Anyway, no matter what city they were in. Number 4, I've got the New York Knicks. I know Sac fans are like, 2002, Tim Donaghy, that was our year. It actually was your year, but you got Donaghy. Sorry. You also got Robert Ory. Tell Vlade Divac not to back tap an offensive rebound to the greatest clutch shooter we've ever seen. How about that? That wasn't Donaghy, okay? That was Vlade Divac. Grab the ball, dude. He literally, here's an assist. Robert Ory wide open top of the key. Place goes crazy. All right, I got the Knicks at 4, and I got Houston at 5. Guys, I got a cool stat for you on the Rockets. They are number 2 in the NBA in point differential. And doing this, I looked it up. I'm like, damn. I didn't know that, right? I knew they're very, very good, but they're number 2 in point differential behind only Oklahoma City, which is a really good look for them. But I can't put them above the big boys in the East, not just yet. All right, cool exercise, fellas. Let's keep it moving here. Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Let me see here. All right, let's run this one. Let's run this one. Yeah, do you guys want to talk Clippers right now? I just want to like a little production meeting during the show. Do you guys want to talk Clippers? You kind of I don't really want to talk Clippers.
I have a wild conspiracy theory about the Clippers, so I'm with you.
Okay, then that's all we need. Okay, B.Dot, I'll go to you first on this. The question is, and rapid fire round, guys. Put us on the clock with this one. Can the Clippers make the playoffs? And let me set it up a little bit here. Kawhi just popped for 55. Harden's balling, obviously. Clippers have won 4 in a row, 13th place, but only 2.5 games behind. I actually got to go to the standings here because I did that yesterday. They are now 3 games out of 10th place, the final play-in tournament spot. They're 10-21 right now. They have won those 4 games in a row, B.Dot. And so they've got 5 teams above them from 8th place to 12th place. Golden State, Memphis, Portland, Utah, and Dallas, all trash teams. That's right, Steve Kerr. I called your team a trash team because it is, all right? A lot of people are calling you mid. You're not mid, you're trash. All right, so B.Dot, can the Clippers make the playoffs? Put them on the clock.
Can they? They possibly can, but will they? I don't think so. I think Kawhi Leonard gets shuts down, close towards the middle end of the season. My conspiracy theory is that we do know that OKC Thunder has their pick, and they will some way give that number 1 pick to the Clippers. And guess who's going to OKC? AJ Banganasta. Banganasta to OKC. Sam Presti, like, man, come on. Like my man Adam said, a guitarist. He knows how to handle the band. And what does he get? The number 1 pick once again. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, yeah, we know they still have it, but what can we say? Are we using it for trade bait? Are we still showing these guys, these NBA teams, that Kawhi is still one of the best players to ever play the game? But at the end of the day, no, the Clippers are not making the playoffs. Shut Kawhi down, trade him, trade James to Houston, get him up out of there, and let's go ahead and let's move on.
Wow, so you're you're backing up the moving truck to Intuit Dome. That's what you're doing.
I don't believe it. You see how they treat Tyronn Lue. Van Gundy's the coach of that team, man. It's a shit show.
Hey guys, show B.Dot what's happening. Show B.Dot what's happening here with. I guess it's got to be kind of random. All right, B.Dot.
Knicks legend, Ron.
The great Ron Baker.
You know who came up with this? Dr. X came up with that. He saw me when we logged on. He's like, bro, who was that player for the Knicks? That dude, he had the hair. And he said, and we had to figure it out. Ron freaking Baker, man. Ron Baker. There it is.
Where'd you go? Wichita State legend, man. Wichita State legend. You gotta love Big Ron.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Absolutely hilarious. Doc, you're the man for that. You're the man for that. That is a good bit right there. All right.
He actually looks like David Lee, though.
Yeah, he does. It looks like David Lee. Like, right. He looks
David Lee.
Yeah. But it's straight up. I mean, that Baker.
You got 2 sons
side by side,
man. That's a good one.
Get a DNA test going.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. All right, Dr. X, will the Clippers on a 4-game winning streak, will they make the playoffs?
Sheesh, man. I'll say this. I want them to make the playoffs. But the problem with the Clippers, I think they're discovering that their offense clicks a little bit better with the stretch big. Zubac has been out, and ever since he's been out, even from the game where he only had I think under 20 minutes because of the injury, they started going on a run, and they looked a lot better. They looked like the team that we thought they were going to be. They lost Bradley Beal to begin the year, and then now they have John Collins playing a lot better. He's starting now. And Brook Lopez, even though his stats don't jump off the screen, the fact that where he is positioned on the floor, and then he also provides some shot blocking. And if he's not going to block it, at least he's deterring people from coming into the paint. So Kawhi is also playing really well, and so is James Harden. But the problem is it's all based on Kawhi's health. And so he started the year off strong, but they were losing. So they wasted all those Kawhi, games. And so hopefully they can, but I think the West is too deep. I want them to, but I don't think they will.
Understood. And I agree with all that, man. I'm going to go last here. So Am Pfeffer, you are next. Will the Clippers, who so badly want that parade down Figueroa, but they will never, ever, ever have that parade down Figueroa. Will the Clippers make the playoffs, Am?
Rick, I'm going to answer both of your questions because I think you asked B.Dot, could the Clippers make the playoffs? Unless I'm mistaken, you said, and now you're asking Doc and myself, will the Clippers make the playoffs?
That was just a mistake. Yes. It should have been will, not can.
It should have been will. Okay.
It should have been will, not can.
So I'm gonna say, but I'll say yes to both answers. They absolutely could make the playoffs, and I think they will make the playoffs. I mean, when I look at Portland above them, or Dallas above them, or even Utah somehow above them, the Clippers are like such a better team than those three teams. Maybe not much as Portland, but Kawhi, the most frustrating player in NBA history, and you still got James Harden playing at a pretty high level, and Zubac needs to get back on the court and get healthy. We're still early in the season. We're not even halfway there yet, okay? So on the second half of the season, like, could they slip into what is now, we're all the way down at 9 and 10, quote unquote, make the playoffs? Yes, I think they will make the playoffs in the 9th or 10th spot. That'll be one of those slots for them.
All right, this is a setup right here. Dr. X, I want you to play host for just a second here and ask me the debate question here. Will the Clippers make the playoffs? Please ask me that question.
Okay, Rick, on to you next. Do you think the Clippers will make the playoffs? You can laugh the whole 55
seconds. It's all so fake and phony. And the second the Clippers start winning a couple of games, they start going up on the headline board on ESPN.com. And why? I don't understand. I understand why the media wants to build up the Knicks, New York, Boston, Heritage Team, the Lakers, or just the Lakers, right? Why does the media go out of their way to put shine and luster and false glow on the LA Clippers? Why? Stop doing it. They're the Clippers. They're the Cleveland freaking Browns of the NFL. They suck. They're always going to suck. All right, let's move on. That's all I got on that.
At least you didn't say the Jets. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good point. I did not say the Jets.
Definitely, they did. The Clippers definitely won't be having no parade on Figueroa Street. Well, not the parade we think they're going to have. I know Figueroa Street, they can go down and get a parade, but not the one we talking about. My bad. Next question, Rick. My bad. I
love it. I absolutely love it.
Family show. Right. Family show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got one more. We got one more of these debate questions, and then me and B.Dot are going Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp on this Westbrook thing. And we talked about it in our production meeting here. And B.Dot, I know you're fired up. And I'm not trying to oversell it. We all love each other here. But yeah, we're going to talk about Westbrook getting the fan ejected for calling him Westbrook right around the corner. Let's do, and again, so we go back to LeBron James. It's his 41st birthday. Bron, a lot of fans out here. I mean, I rock his jersey. He's on my team in the Cam Dynasty. I'm a Bron guy, okay? And let's take the timer off of this. We're okay on time right now. Who's the GOAT of this era? And I ask because Kevin Garnett said, and I'm going to quote him here, he thinks Steph Curry is the greatest player of this era. He said, quote, I've said countless times, I think we're in the Curry era. He is the GOAT of this era. When we talk about the long ball and the three ball, you gotta talk about the messiah of that long ball. You understand? And that's how I look at it. That's the great Kevin Garnett, my second favorite player of all time, saying that Curry is the greatest player of this era. Am Pfeffer, you first on this one, man. Who is the GOAT of this era?
Yeah, LeBron's the GOAT of this era. I don't think that there's much debate about that. And I appreciate what Kevin Garnett is saying. I love Steph Curry, and he is on my top 10. Rick, we've spoken about this a number of times. But I'm actually glad we're talking about this, and I appreciate you taking the timer off because, LeBron's the easy answer. But on my top 10, I have Kevin Durant at number 7 above Steph Curry. Okay. And there are reasons for that go beyond just what you see on an NBA court. And what I mean by that is, to me, Durant is actually better, and I would put him in a more important part of the era, because the Olympics to me are something very special. And he is one of the greatest U.S. Olympians of all time. 12, 16, 20, even before what he did at 24. There's nobody else who has 4 gold medals in basketball but Kevin Durant. And he was the best player on all of those teams in 12, in 16, and 20, which were prime years for plenty of great players. And Curry didn't join, and Curry was amazing when he joined in 24, but Durant was still just as amazing. Durant was the best player twice when they won up in Golden State. He was the best player on that team. It was not disputable. Okay, it's just what it was. And he was incredible in the playoffs, and he was incredible in the finals in both of those years. He won his MVP when he was in Oklahoma City. So again, I have all these reasons why I put Kevin Durant above Steph Curry. Those are 2 guys for you, and there's a reason I wanted to mention that. But as part of the error, like I'm not sure how we debate much more than LeBron James. I'm curious to hear what you all have to say, but he's the best player of this era.
I love it. Let's go to Dr. X next. Who is the GOAT of this era, Dr. X?
Well, which decades are we talking here? Are we talking the last 2 decades or just one of those 2 decades?
I think it's a great question. I think the last 2 decades, because the whole premise of it is not, KG didn't say decade, he said era, right? So era to me is generational. It's more like a 20-year cycle than a 10-year cycle. So I hope that helps.
No, it does. I mean, it's the easy answer. I agree with AM. It has to be LeBron James. He has 4 rings. His stats also scream, they jump off the page. And so with that said, he's also the face of the NBA during that time as well. Curry's a close second. They might even be 1A, 1B. And KD might be right there as well. Maybe the number 2 spot by himself, a strong number 2. But I would say LeBron James 1A, Curry 1B, and Kevin Durant number 2.
I like that. And I love what you said about LeBron being the face of the league. I think Steph has finally yanked that away from Bron, but that was this year. Like I said, when I pop on my TV and I put on the League Pass app, there's not a cluster of NBA stars. There's one dude, Steph Curry. That is a face of the league type of thing right there. B.Dot, who is the GOAT of this era?
LeBron James. It's a clean sweep. Come on now. He's the guy everyone's been chasing and wanting to find that next LeBron James. It's clearly LeBron James. He's the king. From the amount of rings to the dominance of being the face of the NBA. If we want to talk the last decade, we can always say Robert Horry. He has 7 rings. If we're being political and actually literal, it's Robert Horry. But if we're talking superstars, clear as day, LeBron James. Happy birthday, big dog. Wishing you more. And, do your thing, boss. You're the greatest player of this era, hands down, no matter what anybody says.
Okay, so I agree with all of you guys, and I love my guy Kevin Garnett, man. I mean, I love him, but I strongly disagree with this. There's opinions. This reeks of an opinion, and I don't mean to water it down, and I'm not being disrespectful at all, but this is like a from the hip opinion type of thing. And KG is an all-time great. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's an all-time great. So that's his opinion. He's definitely earned the right to have it, and I'm listening, okay? But let's break down resume, okay? This is how I break this stuff down. I'm going to go down the list of accomplishments here and compare them side by side. And it will just co-sign and rubber stamp everything you guys have been saying. Rings, 4 for LeBron, 4 for Steph. MVPs, 4 for LeBron, 2 for Steph. Finals MVPs, 4 for LeBron, 1 for Steph. I have a thing, guys, called the GOAT meter. The GOAT meter are the 3 most important things, accomplishments in basketball. A ring, an MVP, and a finals MVP. There's nothing more important than those 3 things. Scoring titles, assist titles, None of that even comes close to All-Stars, All-NBAs. None of it comes as close as those three things. So that's my GOAT meter, okay? And I use it in football to compare a Tom Brady and a Mahomes or a Peyton Manning and a Brett Favre, right? What's your GOAT meter, okay? It's huge. Like Dan Marino's GOAT meter sucks, right? Never won the ring. Awesome QB, but his GOAT meter sucks. Not my fault, dude, okay? But that is really a strong factor for me. Karl Malone's GOAT meter sucks, okay? Sorry, not my fault he never won the ring, all right? So Bron's GOAT meter is 12. Steph's GOAT meter is 7. He almost doubles him up in the GOAT meter. Are you serious? All right, All-Stars, 21 to 11. All-NBAs, 21 to 11. All defense, pardon me, 6 for LeBron, 0 for Curry. And I love Curry. It's not like I'm banging on him. I'm just giving you the resumes here. LeBron won Rookie of the Year. Steph did not. LeBron led the league in scoring 1 time. Steph did it twice. LeBron led the league in assists. Steph has never done that. Steph led the league in steals once. LeBron has never done that. All right, I want to get into some math on points scored. I believe this may splinter some gray matter up there in your craniums. Did you like that, Doc? I was trying to be as technical as I possibly could right there. All right. So LeBron James is number 1 all-time in points. We all know this. 42,471 points and counting. Steph Curry is 21st all-time in scoring. Okay, we know he leads at threes all-time, right? We give him that. Steph is at 26,077 points. Okay, again, 42,471 for LeBron. 26,077 for Steph. LeBron has scored 16,394 more points than Steph Curry. Here's where your gray matter might splinter. If you add up the Splash Brothers, the 2 greatest shooters of all time, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, okay, you get 42,960 points, barely above LeBron James. You need to put 2 heroic all-time greats on top of each other to get to where LeBron James is in points. Hopefully you guys think that's half as impressive as I do, okay? Because Klay Thompson's at 16,883. Love you, Klay. I mean, you know, the injuries, he'd be well over 20 grand without the injuries, but it is what it is. All right, so we all agree, man. Bron is the GOAT of this era. And Bron, one more time, happy birthday from your boys over here at Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. B.Dot and AM and the great Dr. X. It is Roundtable Rant time. And B.Dot, the floor is yours. You're going first here. I know B.Dot and I are going to talk about Russell Westbrook having the fan ejected for calling him Westbrook. AM and Dr. X, you can chime in on this, take a side, go with another rant, but B.Dot, get us started, man.
You want me to rant this? This gonna be the
yeah, let's go. Let's do that. Take as much time as you want, my brother.
Okay. We're gonna do right here. Before we start, I just want to make sure everybody's emotionally safe tonight, okay? Because the NBA ain't basketball anymore, okay? It's a group of therapy with sneakers, all right? Look, I ain't angry. I'm just disappointed because fans got to walk into NBA arenas like it's a library mixed with HR orientation, okay? Excuse me, sir, am I allowed to boo tonight? Is sarcasm permitted in Section 112? Can I say brick, or is that a Class B violation? Come on, man. If somebody's yelling racial slurs, threatening families, saying wild, out-of-bounds nonsense, get them out. No debate, okay? No podcast, no follow-up tweet. But now, we at a point where trash talk equals trauma. Fans paid to be there, okay? They didn't sneak in. They didn't win a raffle. They spent rent money, Uber money, babysitting money just to watch you hoop. And now they getting escorted out like, sir, you said you got to hit that with too much bass in your voice? Back in the day, players walked in hostile buildings knowing exactly what time it was. Crowds were loud, petty, personal. You'll miss a jumper and hear about it 3 possessions straight. 4th row knew your shooting percentage. The upper deck knew your mama's favorite restaurant, okay? And now what do players do? All right, what did they do back then? They hit the next shot, okay? They didn't stop the game. They didn't point to the crowd like, hey, him right there. He hurt my spirit. You cooked him. You silenced him. Scoreboard therapy, okay? And now these days we got fans arena rules, okay? No booing before 7:42 p.m. No sarcasm during free throws. No nicknames unless approved by players' relations. All criticism must be whispered into your sleeve. Clapping must be supportive. Aggressive clapping will result in removal. This ain't basketball, y'all. This is brunch, okay? Basketball is an emotional sport. The crowd matters. Pressure matters. Hostility matters. Home court advantage used to mean something. Now it's like, yeah, it's loud, but not too loud. Be respectful. Respectful? Sir, this is a competition. You cannot sanitize the game and then act confused when it feels different. Protect players from real hate. Absolutely. But don't turn fans into NPCs who just clap politely and nod like they're at a poetry reading. Okay, man, and to close this out, all right? Because if fans can't talk trash and players can't handle noise, then we didn't involve the league, okay? The league has not evolved at all. We just wrapped it in bubble wrap, lowered the volume, and called it progress, okay? That's not toughness, okay? That's avoidance. We might as well go back to the bubble. And even back then, Russell Westbrook was cursing out little kids in the bubble, okay? That's my – go take it away, man. I'm done because y'all going to get me hot. And I don't want to be too loud because my kids are sleeping.
That was excellent, B.Dot.
B.Dot, I mean, it's a really tough act to follow. I agree with a bunch of the points that you made. However, I do want to go to bat for my guy, Russell Westbrook. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you. You know, I call it the wussification of America, and it's way too prevalent and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so you made a bunch of points that I totally agree with. And I'm not even, like, talking to you right now, B.Dot. I'm just talking to the world. Do you see what I'm saying? This is so blatantly disrespectful to call Russell Westbrook. It needs to stop. Okay, the taunts in LA, Utah, Boston, the guy's human. He's not a robot, okay? This is a human question as much as it is a sports question. How much more can you take? What is your breaking point? At what point do you snap? At what point are you over it to the point where you draw a line and set up some boundaries? Think about this. Russell Westbrook had just passed Magic Johnson on the all-time assist list. My favorite athlete of all time, the greatest point guard of all time, and the fourth best player of all time. He's on my Mount friggin' Rushmore. And Russell Westbrook passed him in dimes, which is what Magic was known for most. And then the next game, you got to go out and hear Westbrook? Come on, dude. Fans are too entitled these days. And I'm with B.Dot. When it's hate stuff and racial stuff and talking about your family, bye. And Dot, I'll even take you a step further. And I said this on NBA radio for years. You're never coming back. Okay? And the NBA doesn't rock that way. They'll kick you out, but you can come right back for that next game. Okay? Sometimes it gets to a level where they sanction you a little bit more than that. But typically, you can get your hate on, and depending on the city you're in, you're right back in there the next game getting your hate on. You know, and so I hate all that stuff. Okay? And I have no tolerance for that at all. If you're out there doing that kind of stuff, you can never come to an NBA game again. The NBA is a little bit too business conscious, okay? And they don't want to rock that way because they're turning away money then. But hello, there's a bunch of other people that can just fill that dude's season ticket spot and pay that money, okay? But I love Russ. We love Russ out here. And I say good for you, Russ. One more thing. Stage actors, comedians, musicians can all have fans removed for heckling or disrupting the show. I looked it up. Kane Brown, Carly Pierce, Zach Brown. I don't even know who those people are. Okay, but AI told me that they're musicians that have had fans kicked out for acting unruly at their shows. And I don't know what level it is. And this fan looked relatively peaceful in play, right? But he's calling Westbrook and all this kind of stuff. And so the bottom line is Russ is just over it. He's just over it. And I think he is such an all-time great and such NBA royalty that he doesn't have to put up with this bull crap anymore. Okay? And it's interesting, we can continue this conversation or not, but the refs were not involved with this from what I could see. It was security, right? And a lot of times, like, Bron will go over and go, yo, man, this guy's talking.
right, man.
Oh man, is it spam call?
That's the connection in Boston telling him to come on, man. You in the wrong city to be talking about this. That's that Boston hotel connection.
Oh yeah.
It's different, man. I understand it to a point, but there are rules that say, the fan code of conduct allows booing, heckling, and criticism of play. All right, it forbids racial slurs, threats, hate speech, and obscene gestures. Calling a player brick, trash, or overrated is explicitly not prohibited. Okay, that's not my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the NBA's rule book. All right, now I understand Russ. He's getting tired of it, but I'm sure after Magic came back from the debacle he had with the disease,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he went to Boston. They were talking about, man, get some clean bud, Magic, and Magic ignored it and it had a triple double and went crazy. Oh, my bad, Rick. I thought you was gone. My bad.
No, I love it, dude. I love it. Like I said, B.Dot, this is like a nuanced disagreement between you're making a bunch of outstanding points, dude. I'm over here literally on Ross Island. I got my arm around Russ right now. I just got my Russ jersey, by the way, like 2 weeks ago. I've been wearing it all over Florida, like just
Nice.
I just
you got your
Russ.
You got your Kings on. You got your Kings.
I got my Kings
on.
on.
I understand.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He plays for the Kings.
Exactly.
Hey, Vivek, pay him more than $3 million, dude. He's flirting with triple doubles every night. All right, Dr. X and then AM, man. Do you guys want to weigh in on this? You got your own rant. What's up?
Man, instead of me weighing in, I wanna concede my time to B.Dot and ask him to tell us a story about how you met Westbrook and at the beginning of your career with impersonations and things of that nature.
Oh man, and Westbrook, top 3 favorite player of all time. And so I was leaving Westwood. One of my really good friends, she lived in Westwood. My best friend, actually, Taylor Gleave, she was in a lot of my videos. And this was back in the hoverboard days. So I'm walking to my Uber to get in my car, hoverboard in my hand, and all I hear is, "Hey man, you a funny dude." And I'm just thinking, it's like, just a regular fan. I'm like, man, I appreciate it. He like, "Hey, you a funny dude." I turn around, it's Russell Westbrook at the light right there in Westwood, and he's telling me this. I have the picture and everything. I wish I would have sent it to Jason before this. And I'm like, "Westbrook?" He's like, "Yeah, man." So I go over there. I holler at him. I tell him, how much of a big fan I am of his. He says, I love your impersonations. I love what you do. And I say, "Russ, man, where you coming from, man?" He said, "I just came from the Taylor Swift concert. I seen you walking across the street, and I just want to let you know, hey, man, you're a funny dude, and I appreciate what you do." And we got a picture together, and that's probably, that's one of the best moments ever in my life, because that Russell Westbrook video is the one that popped me off. It's the one that made me, relevant and pushed me into all the, to the ESPNs and all of these, Jimmy Kimmels. Without Westbrook bringing the NBA, I probably wouldn't be, the NBA impersonator that I'm known for to this day, because that video that I did of Westbrook, I don't want to say it was an impersonation. It was just me being a fan of his game and seeing the way he plays on the court versus his player profile picture. And that was the title. That was a long title. Russell Westbrook on court expressions versus his player profile picture. His player profile picture, he's smiling, he's happy, and on the court, complete opposite. And to this day, I give all my flowers to Westbrook, because he's the one that, he's the one that made B.Dot 8.5. And I'm going to put it like that to this day. So
I love that.
I love Russ, man. I love Russ.
Great story, man. Hey, we got to pull that picture in the edit.
I got you. I got to send it to you, man.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, B.Dot, dude. And every single teammate Russ has ever had loves him. He's awesome with kids. He's awesome in the community. Like, I just, like I said, I will die on that hill, dude. I'm a lot. B.Dot, earlier you said I'm not good at fighting, right? I'm a lover, not a fighter, dude. I'm a peaceful man. I'm a tree hugger. I'm traveling around seeing jam bands. I'm a musician. I'm an artist. Okay, I don't fight, bro. I don't fight. And so because I'm so peaceful, like when I see Russ out there, doing all that stuff, it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm able to live vicariously through him a little bit because,
Yeah.
I'm all chill over here now, man. I'm almost a senior citizen, man. I gotta chill it all out. All right, AFFer, what's your rant before we get out of here, man?
Yeah, I got a quick rant, but I want to wrap up with this. I mean, B.Dot, first of all, amazing story, but good on you, right? Even with all that in the history, you're keeping it very real as to this particular story about the Westbrook and how you feel about what should and shouldn't be allowed. And I am team B.Dot on this one, very much so. I am 100% on your side. I'm not with it with the fans. I don't love the face paint. I don't love a guy sitting courtside heckling, but it is part of the game. You are allowed to show up if that's what you're paying for, and you're allowed to say something like Westbrook, which is not out of bounds, is not out of line. Now, if you're doing it 100 times, that's on you and you're just an a-hole. But it's part of the game, and it is allowed. I don't think just because Russell Westbrook has a history and he's one of the better point guards of all time, or you pass Magic Johnson, that you're the guy who's allowed to kick somebody out. I mean, if you're heckling a lesser-known player and he's the ninth guy on the bench, or it doesn't have the same lineage as Westbrook, the story wouldn't have even be told. But that is allowed, and fans do that to guys all the time, especially during free throws. So, I don't love it. I don't love that the fan got kicked out there, especially for something as simple as this. But yeah, I mean, if you're crossing the line, it's not even a question. And Rick, I do agree with you 100% on that. Zero tolerance for that. You should never be allowed back in an arena. Now, on to my rant. I finally got here. We are on the cusp of 2026, and I am finally 51-49. This is just a personal internal turmoil that nobody asked for anyway. But I'm finally there on changing the NBA logo, if you can believe it. I'm there. And why am I here? Because we're going into 2026, and in a couple of years, in 2028, the Olympics that I mentioned previously, and I talked all about Kevin Durant, they are coming to Los Angeles. To me, and hey, you guys defer to me constantly to talk about business. To me, now is the time for the NBA over the next 24 to 36 months to actually roll into this, to rush towards this, to turn this into a positive that it is time to change the logo. Now, all the people who are saying, let's not change the logo because it's so already worldwide and well known, that's a great reason not to do it. But to me, that is stale. And I'm going to double, triple, quadruple down on this as to who the logo should be, because it ain't LeBron, it ain't even MJ, and it's not Kobe, who I think a lot of people would love to see, especially in light of the tragedy that happened a few years ago. To me, my guy, it's Tim Duncan. First of all, he's number 5 on the list. Second of all, he's the big fundamental. And third of all, he's actually from St. Croix of the Virgin Islands, not even United States proper. So he really defines what it is to be the logo. And it's not, and here's the thing, I think a lot of people think the logo is Jerry West. This has never been confirmed that it's Jerry West, but wink, wink, it's Jerry West, right? Jerry West had his due. He is one of the best players of all time, but he's not a top 10 player of all time. Tim Duncan defines what the NBA means today. He was so crucial to where we are and how we've gotten here. And again, especially because we're moving into a league that is, towards non-United States players and where the league is coming to. And now all these teams are really, all these countries especially, are really showing up and vying for what's happening inside, during the Olympics. And France is great, and Lithuania is great, or Argentina has had its due, certainly even more than the U.S. And the dominance that they've had. That's where I've arrived. If the NBA handled this correctly, I think that this could be a huge business opportunity for them. And I know a lot of people would look at me and be like, Tim Duncan, come on, it's MJ, it's LeBron, it's obviously Kobe. But look, it's been Jerry West forever, and that's been a fun piece of trivia. If handled correctly, upgrade the logo, make it Tim Duncan. I love Tim Duncan. Again, he's number 5 on my list, but just the fact that you're the big fundamental, you, my friend, are the NBA logo.
Shaq wants to know why it's got to be the big fundamental and not Shaq. Why can't you have Shaq dunking and raising his knees? Remember my logo on my shoes back in the day? Why can't that be the new NBA logo? AM.
Great question. But hey, Shaq, you ain't on my top 10 list either.
Oh, did I freeze again?
Sorry.
No. You were great.
You got
Did
it.
I freeze again? Oh my God.
No, you did it.
We got all that.
I
Rick,
love
we got
that.
all of it. We heard it all.
All right. I do a decent check. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. Doc, anybody you want to shout out or anything you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Man, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Appreciate all you gentlemen. We have been killing it with the numbers. Thank you, Kai and Jason. Appreciate it. And B.Dot always coming in the clutch. You know, we're about to update our graphic. We got you in there, B.Dot. We got you in there, my brother. We're about to blow this thing up. So Happy New Year. We're missing my big cuz Dwight. I know I like sparring with him. It's like something I have to do at least 3 times a week, or otherwise I don't feel like, all is well with the world. So really appreciate you, Rick. Man, you came through in the clutch. Dennis 3D Scott, not here in the show today, but really thankful for everybody and looking forward to the new year. We got a lot planned, and thank you for being on this journey with me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us, Doc. AM, anybody want to shout out? Then I'll go to B.Dot and I'll wrap us up here. Anybody want to shout out AM?
I'm going to tail end what Doc said. Shout out to 2025. You know what? Great year, but welcome to 2026. I'm looking forward to it. Happy New Year. All Happy New Year to my cohorts here on the X-Rated Sports Network Beyond the Surface. I'm loving it. Thank you all.
I just want to say shout out to all the haters and the commentators that said, I recently heard that Jokic isn't really a great player. There aren't any legit big men that he is playing against in this current era like it was back in the day. And I just want to shout out to the, mental health, for those people to seek. And, shout out to, 2025 and a great run that we're having with Beyond the Surface. And I'm looking to go even more beyond in 2026, man. Thankful for you guys.
Yes.
Looking forward to New Year.
I want to shout out you guys, this opportunity, this platform, what we're going to do in 2026, and the love fest that we're creating here. All of our audience members out there, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beyond the Surface, the X-Rated Sports Network YouTube channel. That would be a nice post-Christmas gift, a good way to start the new year. Get a subscription to our awesome show. And so lastly here, I want to shout out, of course, Adam Smirnoff, the guitarist in the legendary funk band Lettuce. We had a great time with him. And I want to shout out these guys. Okay, let me drop this down, I guess, a little bit. The Disco Biscuits.
Yeah.
These are my boys. This was the ticket from last night at the Sinclair. Me and 549 of my closest friends, we were packed in like sardines. I mean, I could barely dance. I'm like doing this. And anyway, it was a blast. It was a sweat fest, but I'm about to dive into another one tonight, and want to thank my buddies in the Disco Biscuits for hooking me up. And I hope to see them tonight, but that'd be cool. Anyway, we got to get out of here, guys. Love you guys. For the great Dr. X, for A.M. Pfeffer, for Brandon Armstrong, for Dwight Walton, who will be back for sure with us in 2026. Jason Arambulo, our producer. Kai Josephson, our video director. I'm Rick Kamala. Thank you. We love you, and we will see you in 2026. Happy New Year, everybody.